What's up?
Not much.
Back again, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
You look refreshed.
I do?
Yeah. I would assume it was because you had a little fun last weekend and this week wasn't too bad at work. Maybe.
I would say, yeah, taking some time off, that did help. And, oh man, I do definitely want to get your perspective on the weekend, because you just bringing that up, I haven't even talked to you about that, like what happened afterward. So
that's how I mean, beautiful setup. We had other conversations before we got on here, but we did not talk about that, which is beautiful because most of the time we talk about everything. But I definitely wanted to dive into that and give you my perspective. I see you got your Anime Fest shirt on.
Yeah, this is actually the one for this is from last year. This year, to be honest with you, when I saw this year's, it looks like the artist that Akon used to have, which I like this shirt better.
Gotcha.
Not being mean, I'm just saying.
A little more digging on Akon.
No. I'm saying Anime Fest shirt. Like they look like they have the artist, the artist that Akon used to have.
Yeah.
Now it looks like Anime Fest, and I don't know how they do it, so it might just be like a one-off. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
They might just get someone to do it for a year. But anyways, it reminds me of the art style that Akon used to have.
Yeah.
Which, since you mentioned that, that is one positive I can say about Akon, is that now the artist they have now, I think, is really, really good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
awesome.
I mean,
did you get a shirt from this year?
Yep, I sure did.
Gotcha.
Even though I'm not going back next year. but yeah, their artist is just phenomenal. But
awesome.
So that's what I was saying, was that it looks like Anime Fest went with someone that used to do art for Akon back in the day, and I was just like, I like this one better.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah, I had fun. I did have fun, even though it was short lived. I didn't get to spend the whole weekend there. I definitely had fun, and it kind of sucks because this weekend is going to be super busy for me. So I'm glad I got to enjoy.
Oh, you mean just like in terms of work? Or just
I got a car after this. I got a detail, which I told you before we came on here.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, it's busy times.
Mm-hmm.
So I was definitely glad I got to go down to Dallas with you and experience that. Got my V card taken by the convention.
Oh, that's totally a thing people joke about. Definitely. Yeah, you have to tell me just like what, I mean, there's no like right or wrong thing when it comes to this, but what was it like for you just seeing all of it, just seeing all the people? Like I said, Saturday, a little bit busier, but still gave you a pretty good idea of even that location, that hotel in particular. I mean, just it's really
beautiful
big,
hotel.
Really big.
Oh, yeah. So I stayed in that area years back with some friends, went to St. Patrick's Day in Dallas. So I was right in that area, but we were staying at a Hilton just a few blocks away. And honestly, didn't even notice that hotel. And then when I drive up there, this past weekend, I was like, goodness gracious, this thing is massive. And it's just slamming with people. I'm like, how can they hold all these people? And then I get inside and wow, this hotel is huge. Like when you have multiple elevators, different wings of the hotel,
all these multiple towers.
Yeah, I'm like, goodness gracious. Yeah. So it was fun. But yeah, the experience was.
I know it was a really, like I said, just we didn't have a lot of time to do as many panels and stuff like that, and this one in particular isn't known for like having concerts, but still you got to look and see, even, you briefly downloaded the app guidebook, and you got to see even just how many events were going on.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. I did not expect that massive amount of things to do like there for that particular reason. Like,
yeah,
there was a lot going on. So that was mind blowing. And I'm glad I downloaded the app and got to look at that. And, you know, even though I knew I wasn't going to get to go to all of these things that they were holding, it was just cool to see how they run that convention, you know, as far as scheduling. Obviously, a lot of people have to volunteer, I'm assuming, to hold something like that.
Yeah, most of the anime conventions are nonprofit, so most of them are just volunteering their time. I think when it comes to Comic-Con, that's actually more like a business, you know, because they're throwing the money to get the, you know, the big celebrities to roll in, and you know, they're trying to figure out how much do we charge to get in, and then how much do we charge for someone to get a picture, autograph, all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. And I'm assuming the tickets are a whole lot more. I mean, I only paid.
And that is a real good question. I don't know. Yeah. And Anime Fest is pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Like I told you personally, you know, in passing, I might have said this, but I think Akon is a little overpriced now for what you're getting. But
Akon is?
I feel like it is.
Gotcha. It's the same, I wouldn't say style, but it's the same genre of convention, right? It's an anime convention.
Yeah.
So people that go to that or go to Anime Fest, they're kind of like the same participants, right? For the crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
Not necessarily the same people, but it's the same crowd.
Yeah.
But Comic-Con is a different beast.
I would say it's more, you know, more celebrity driven for sure.
Gotcha.
I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast, or I can't remember if I've said it on my channel, but one of the years I went to, it was definitely Akon. We had so this was Dallas comic book artists.
Mm-hmm.
They were kind of complaining about the whole Comic-Con scene, just pretty much saying like it's no longer about comic books. It's more about meeting Robert Downey Jr.
Gotcha.
So like the local artists, they feel like are kind of getting stepped on and just pushed aside, and people are showing up, you know, to just meet the celebrity, which I'm like, yeah, I could totally see that sucking if if your goal is to, hey, I'm going to put my art, I'm going to attend this thing, you know, get a booth, you know, do whatever I can do to get some attention. And then, you know, just people aren't there for that. I mean, that's the bottom line.
No one shows up. Or
they walk right past your booth or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Nobody's stopping to see you.
Yeah.
Because, they have their eyes set on something big. That sucks. You know?
Yeah, and I don't have an answer for I thought that was really insightful because since I'm not a comic book artist and I haven't really, I mean, I like manga, but it's not like I'm definitely more into the anime sphere than I am manga. They're pretty much synonymous with each other.
Yeah.
But a lot of times manga stories come out first, but it's just it's not something I'm actively following, or, you know, stuff like doujinshi. I'm not actively following stuff like that. So when you hear someone that's actually making it and they're like, yeah, it's not that great. You know, it kind of sucks. But like I said, I don't know, how would you fix something like that?
I don't know. That's a good question. You know, because they're always going to capitalize on the big names.
Yeah.
You know? If that's what's driving the crowds, then you really can't get away from it. Can you separate them? Well, then, you know, who has time to go to two different conventions for, you know? I don't know.
Right. One for supporting your local artists and one for the big stuff.
Yeah. I think they do it on purpose. But, you know, from what I saw, I mean, there's all walks of life.
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing that I guess I took, didn't take away from it, but saw was that it's definitely a group. It's definitely something that you want to attend with a group of friends.
I would say you would have more fun if
Exactly.
if you attended with a group. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. In your situation, like you're not only going there for yourself because you enjoy going to these things, but you have a mission as well. So I don't know, how would that play if you had a group of friends? Do you still have more fun, or are you still like focus driven on like what you're trying to do?
Okay, that's a good question. I would say that definitely, especially at this point where I'm at, in my life, especially in terms of conventions and everything, I've definitely have had my times of going to stuff. We'll say, because I know they're not, like I said, not Robert Downey Jr., but I've had like at least 4 or 5 situations over the years where I was, I knew someone that worked at the convention, and then next thing you know, I'm going to a party and all the guests are there, and pretty awesome time.
Yeah.
But I would say for the most part, I was able to do a lot of that stuff. Definitely I had some real good times with my uncle. And kind of like I told you, one of the other times we talked about this, the friends that were consistently going have more or less died down on going to conventions.
Right.
So for the most part, I would say now at this point, it's just friends kind of, they might go this year, but they may not go next year.
Yeah.
But so I just kind of go into it like, if someone shows up, awesome.
Yeah.
But going back to what you just said, here's my mission, and I'm gonna just crush that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just take care of what I need to take care of. But if someone shows up, I mean, that's just gonna make it more entertaining, more fun. But it's not something I need, because, like I said, I definitely got that, for many years. So
Gotcha. Yeah. Understandable. I know. I thought I was gonna like kind of stand out in the crowd.
That is hilarious that you thought that.
Well, because I wasn't dressed up, right? And that was one of my biggest things.
And I guess, I don't know if I ever told you that I've never cosplayed.
Never.
That's
crazy. If you would have told me that, I'd have probably been a little more comfortable walking through the door. But
we're thinking like, just us as people, we're thinking a billion different things. And see, that was the last thing.
Yeah.
I was even thinking, like, and I mean, that would make another great podcast conversation. The reason why I haven't, I mean, but there's a couple of different reasons, but
we'll throw that on the list.
Yeah.
For sure.
I might hold off on saying what those reasons are, but I mean, there's a couple of different reasons.
Gotcha. Well, see, this is the thing, because remember when we went to that concert in Tulsa? We talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
You kind of dressed up. Not like cosplay dressed up, but you definitely dressed for the occasion. And me,
I'm a redhead through and through. Yeah.
And me, I was old.
Yeah, I am what I am.
Exactly. And I'm like, who is this guy I call friend? I do not know. No,
you're right.
Is.
You're right. Okay. See, and see you mentioning it, I totally forgot that. But I mean, I know I told you like the vibe, but I get what you're saying. Like, you went into it, and then, like you said, we'll say that. We'll definitely say I dressed the part, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I dressed the part for the scene.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you went in, and then you're like, oh, is this gonna be another Tulsa thing? And and that didn't even cross my mind. Even the other times I mentioned the convention, totally did not cross my mind. So
yeah.
That's actually a really good point. I didn't not even think of that. But yeah, I've never cosplayed.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. I would have never thought that. I would have thought you've at least done it once or twice before, or probably every time.
Yeah.
But I mean, to hear you say that, it is surprising. But then, knowing you, I'm sure you have your reasons, which you can tell me later. But
yeah. And like I said, or it might be over the podcast. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Yeah.
Gotcha. But I thought I was going to stand out, and I didn't. Like, I wasn't the only one that wasn't dressed up. And I think that's probably a preconception that a lot of people have.
Maybe,
that might think about going to something like this, but they're really not for sure. Like, they're kind of into like the anime stuff, right? But they're still holding on to that V card. And they're like, I don't want to put forth all this effort just to go to a convention because, you know, what if I get laughed at because my costume looks like garbage? You know, I just something I think of, right? And so to know that you don't have to dress up, there's just so much you can do.
Yep.
Yeah, go for it. You know, I would say if there's anybody on the fence, you know, I would say try it out, see what it's all about. You might enjoy yourself for sure. I know I did, like I said, for the short amount of time I was there. But what was really cool, seeing the costumes, you could tell like there's definitely different levels.
Oh yeah,
of people that are into it, and then that just dress up to go to one of these.
And I do want to point this out too, because and I won't speak too much on this because, like I just told you, I've never cosplayed before, but you know, there's people, of course, they're doing something quick, like they might be L from Death Note, jeans, white tee. Throw some, I don't know, some eyeliner or something. Yeah. Don't sleep for 2 days, and then nailed it.
Got it.
But so there's people that have really simple ones like that, and then there's other people they're putting a little effort into it.
Yeah.
And then there's people that are putting a lot of money and time into it, and then there's people that don't put no time into it, but they have the money, so they spend a lot of money and they just buy it, and then they're killing it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so there's different levels to that. So I mean, some stuff you could be seeing, a lot of work could have went into it, and it may not have been them that did the work.
Yeah.
But then there's also those people that definitely do that. They're coming up with just wild and crazy stuff. They're just a master at the craft.
Mm-hmm.
And they find enjoyment in doing that and building stuff and making costumes and stuff like that.
For sure. I mean, you can go on, well, one of the platforms that I have frequented is Twitch. You can go on there and, you know, there's people that dress up in cosplay just to stream, play games, or do whatever they do. So, I mean, there's definitely a lane for those people, which kudos to you. I mean, I'm not a sewer. I thought about it once upon a time.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill.
Yeah, it's definitely a skill for sure. And some of the creations that come out of it, it's pretty amazing. I will say, like, the whole cosplay contest, I was kind of familiar with that just from you talking to me about it, and, you know, kind of seeing other things. So I knew that was a thing, so that didn't necessarily surprise me. But it was definitely interesting. The guy that got on stage with the chainsaw, what was that anime, Chainsaw Man? Yeah, that I was impressed by. And I mean, it wasn't spectacular, but it was awesome.
Yeah, no,
you know?
It was.
So that was, I guess, because I had already walked around the building. We had already walked around the building for a little bit, and I kind of saw a lot of, you know, different costumes and stuff. And but to see that, like a full mask, like chainsaw come out of his face, that was pretty cool. So I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, loved it. I wish I could have stayed Saturday, man, just from you telling me, because I saw, like, the parking was stupid. When I got there, the garage was already closed because it was full. And then I drove around for probably a good 5 minutes before I found a parking spot, and I'm seeing people pull luggage out of their cars with costume. I'm sure it was their costume.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
I didn't see those people on Friday, you know? So I'm like, okay. So I really got there early when I thought I was late because we got to see the opening ceremony after we went and ate. I thought I was late. I'm like, I'm going to, you know, miss some of these things, but I guess I showed up right on time. So, but yeah, it was definitely an eye opener, and it's like a world you don't know about unless you're in it.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
You know, I kind of equated it to cycling for me personally because I was a cyclist.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah,
and
I can see
looks
that.
really small from the outside, but if you're part of that community, it's a big thing.
Yeah,
you know, so that's what I equated to. I thought it was pretty well laid out, pretty amazing. Wasn't the oldest person there. Didn't feel like the oldest person there. Didn't get looked at as you're an old guy. Nobody really cared. But yeah, it seemed like there was just a lot of good fun going on.
Yep.
You know, nothing crazy. But the panel, that was pretty interesting. I did not expect that whatsoever.
I kind of knew what I was, what was in store because I've heard a lot of wacky, just crazy convention stories, and I have like a couple, but
can you tell one?
I cannot tell one. Not because it's so bad that I can't talk about it, but I mean, okay. I would have to dig deep.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would definitely have to dig deep on that. But yeah, there's a couple of them, just weird situations.
Yeah.
You know,
the conversations that he showed on the screen, the text messages, I was like, you're kidding me. This is crazy. What is going on? Yeah.
No, I agree.
Wild.
I agree.
Wild.
Yeah, their stories were definitely were pretty crazy. I would say theirs were pretty up there. I've heard a little crazier, but not much crazier.
Yeah.
But
who would have thought there were groupies for conventions? I'm just like, wow, you're a rock star.
Well, that's essentially what it is for what what you just brought up, Twitch, people on Twitch, people on YouTube. It's like and like I said, I'm saying this endearingly, not saying this like an insult or a slight, but I mean, you're essentially if we're gonna say, someone is a C-list or D-list, I mean, then maybe YouTube is like a F-list celebrity. I don't know. I don't know what you'd call them, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. They still got their fans.
Yeah, they still,
for sure. Maybe we'll get there one day. Not the little groupie thing. I just mean fans. Not going. Oh, some of the things that come out of my mouth. Anyways,
I know that was one of those where no.
Too late. It's that unfiltered moment. But anyways, did that pretty much answer your question as far as like?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
I felt like you had something burning inside you wanted to ask.
No, I don't think so. I was just. I know what you're talking about. No, it was more just that. So that following day, like, it was an awesome day. Yeah, there was just a lot of, like I said, one of the guys that I went to was the voice actor of Jet from Cowboy Bebop, and just listening to him tell his story at his panel. And there weren't really a whole lot of people there.
Yeah.
But listening to his story, he was on all kinds of, first he was in all kinds of TV shows and movies.
Really?
For years. Just stuff all over the place. I can't even,
like, I just remember. Not a voice actor? Movies?
Right. Movies. Yeah. Okay. Like at one point he was even on for a couple of years, General Hospital.
No way. Of course. Everybody starts on soap operas.
Right. and he didn't start there. He was just on a little bit of everything. But it's funny because when someone suggested, hey, why don't you jump into doing some anime? And they literally told him, like, hey, it doesn't pay much, but you can, it could be some consistent income. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What's anime? Because, we're talking about, this was
years ago.
Yes. Well over 30 years ago. So
yeah, after Dragon Ball Z though, right? Cowboy Bebop came out after
No,
Dragon Ball Z,
no. I mean, I think he was in stuff before that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Dang.
And I would
overseas, like in Japan, doing stuff, or
no,
here in the United States?
No, here in the United States. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know any of his earlier projects, or do you remember what he said?
Oh, no. But I'm gonna make a video, especially covering his stuff, because he had a lot of things to even say about the live action Cowboy Bebop.
I bet it wasn't good.
It wasn't.
I have that on my watch list. I just recently put it on there, and I don't know if I'm going to watch it just because I feel like I'm doing a disservice.
I mean, okay, because I kind of remember you hadn't watched the original, right?
I have not, and I want to.
Okay, so
I haven't.
I want to say just watch.
Give us a little bit.
I was going to say you should watch the original first.
Okay.
And then you should watch the other one for the lulz.
For the lulz.
I don't think there's some part. Oh, you know what though? I will say this: the guy that plays Jet, that plays his character.
Yeah.
I think because there was a little bit of controversy because they were like, oh, of course they got a black guy to play Jet, and then he murders it. He murdered that role. Like he has the mannerisms of the characters, just like the speak, the way he was talking, the way he's like Spike. He sounds just like the character. So I was like, he nailed that role. He really did.
The voice actor agree with that opinion, or
he didn't really
go into that specifically?
He didn't really go into that. Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't.
For you personally, though.
So yeah, this is totally me. This is totally me saying that. Yeah. And but some of the other characters, it's questionable, and even some of that you can let slide. But they changed drastically changed some of the characters, and I don't. It's kind of one of those things. Is it really necessary? But it's not. The thing is, though, it's not just an anime thing.
Yeah, it's
not just a Marvel comic book thing. Oh, they're changing this because of this, or they're doing this to these characters. They do this even with, a book becomes really popular and then they turn it into a movie. So, I mean,
true.
This happens across all planes. So,
this is very true.
You know what I mean? It's not even if, there's going to be there's somebody out there now that watched that Cowboy Bebop series and they liked it. You know what I mean?
I won't tell you if I do.
There is somebody.
I won't tell you if I do.
There is somebody that watched it and liked it.
Yeah.
And that's, you know what I mean? That's also how I look at it. Like, there's some people that are taking it just way too personal.
Yeah.
Like it's their baby or something.
I mean, everybody, we all do that with something. So I get it. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from, though. I mean, I guess that's why it was we were talking about The Last of Us, why it was so epic, because they say it's so close to the storyline, that everybody loved it. I don't think there was any bad reviews on it. I didn't see any, but yeah, everybody has a different interpretation of what they see, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I like a movie, you might not like it for whatever reason, but it might still be a good movie, across the board. So
yeah,
I get it. But him being the voice actor of it and spending so much labor and time and love into a character, and probably from the beginning, right?
And also too,
he probably has the say in.
And I'm gonna throw this. I'm gonna throw this in there. Like, I'm not mentioning this to get in. To go into it, but just because it'll get a laugh.
Gotcha.
You know what you were saying passionately about Apple.
Yeah,
that series when it came out, when it did, and just like kind of like what I said to you when we were at Anime Fest. It's like the ultimate gateway anime because it has a very Western vibe.
Yeah,
like if you're looking at it, if you get someone that's never watched anime and they look at that, they're not going to be able to tell that. They're still going to feel like it looks different from cartoons they see on Cartoon Network or whatever.
Right.
But if you compare it to other anime, it's very Western. Very Western influence.
Would you say, could I use the word watered down?
No, I wouldn't say watered down. No, it totally has its own. It totally has a its own aesthetic, its own vibe. So it's not. Yeah. So they're not watering it down, but it's definitely. Well, it's just a totally different vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, totally different vibe.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Well, that's cool. Yeah, after you texted me that on Saturday, I was super bummed out, but I did make prior engagements that I had to hold.
Oh yeah, no.
You can give somebody your word, you got to stick through it. But man, bro, if I did not have anything to do, I bet Saturday would have been lights out.
Yeah,
I would have been sleeping on the couch in your That would have been, yeah. I think I would have enjoyed it. And again, it kind of is a testament to my personality, which you already know. Like, I'm definitely going to have fun wherever I'm at. Right?
Yeah.
I could have looked at this in like a completely negative light, like, oh, this isn't for me. I don't watch enough anime, right? Why are you dressing up? That's so crazy. That's stupid, you know, but I don't look at life like that at all. So I definitely enjoyed myself at the time. And it was nice going there with you, and you've done this so much and you're so into, like, it's just a part of you, right? That you were able to inform me on just so much stuff that, it definitely made it more enjoyable, And even though, like, I guess in that whole interaction, I didn't want to take away from like what you had planned to do, but you were fine with that, like, it's more about like, do you have any questions? All right, what do you want to go look at? And we still were able to go to that panel that you wanted to go to. So, yeah, but even though I enjoyed the convention,
go ahead. By the way, I don't know if you remember. Well, you may not have watched it, but my the last time I did an Anime Fest video, I complained about the thing you're about to talk about. But go ahead. Maybe not in the same way, but it's similar.
The traffic?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, bro. Mm-hmm. Oh, dang. Damn. What? The ever living. Like, I was thinking about this. Who's worse? Texas drivers or Oklahoma drivers? Like, I cannot figure it out, bro. I cannot or maybe it's just me.
Well, you know what? You saying maybe it's just me. So if I had it my way, this isn't a bad take towards anybody, but
Mario for 2020 president,
right?
2024 president.
But if I had it my way, like, because actually for some people this is going to sound crazy, but if I lived in a really big city, I don't know if I would, because I'm not familiar with like New York and Los Angeles, but I'll just say, since I only know what I've seen, so I'm going to say, if I was in Tokyo, Japan, and I was living there, I wouldn't even bother having a car.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't even bother.
I mean, most people don't bother having cars in New York. Like, you have to be like rich and the elite. From what I saw,
I like, and that's not even because like back in the day we used to we have songs like in hip hop where even Kanye West said at one time, "Hey, if you do this, then at least you can get a dude with a car, or something like that." And it's like, no, it's like now I kind of see why. Okay, yeah, if you're living in this big ass city, it would be more of a inconvenience going through the trouble of having one. I mean,
I see why there's so many accidents, so many deaths in cars. The statistics are crazy. I didn't look it up for this because that's really not my whole point.
That's not your point, yeah.
Right. But I thought about that as I was driving from Oklahoma to Texas. And I mean, kudos to Texas. Man, golly, their freeway system is amazing. It's definitely better than what it used to be. I remember like 2002, 3, 4. Bro, you go down to Dallas, getting through Fort Worth, it was a nightmare. Like coming from like a Wichita Falls like area. Not taking I-35, but coming from like the west. It was a nightmare once you hit north of Fort Worth. You know, and then they've built all those roadways, which have kind of separated traffic in a way like, well, if you want to pay for this, go ahead and go, right? And if you're not going to pay, enjoy the wait. That's how I feel. That's the truth, bro. Because when I went, I know I'm kind of getting off, but when I went
you're good.
down to Six Flags with my family last summer, we went down there for one of the kids' birthdays, and we hopped on the pay toll, bro. I wasn't playing around. We hopped on the pay toll. We got to where we were going, quick, fast, in a hurry, and we were looking at all those cars that had to sit there and wait through that slow traffic, which it used to be that way for everybody.
Yeah.
But I digress. It's amazing what they've done as far as the roadways that they've built in order to move traffic. But that's not the problem. The problem is the drivers. People just do not care. Bro, like, I see why people don't want to be patient in their car. Because if you're patient and you try to drive safely, somebody's going to move in front of you in order to be and make you unsafe. Or people are going to move around you in an unsafe manner.
True.
To where you feel like you have to like push that envelope just a little bit so that you can maintain the space that you're in. And it brought me back to like Talladega Nights. Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first, you're last. I feel like everybody drives with that mentality. If you're not first, you're last. It's like, bro, I'm going to get there probably around the same damn time you are. Calm down. I'm probably not even going the same direction you're going. So why are you trying to like put me in a situation where I'm about to slam on my brakes and possibly get, hit from the rear end? It was, bro, it over and over and over again. Put in situations where either you have to drive somewhat aggressive or you just have to keep getting put back further and further in the line because somebody's going to cut in front of you.
No, you're right. You're right.
And I mean, you ask my wife, she'll tell you that I'm an aggressive driver.
and I can honestly say that coming from someone that I will definitely play it safe and just let people pass me or whatever. But it goes back to what you said, then people are just looking to do that. And they will do it like, and they will be this freaking close to you.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah,
dude, if you're going to pass me, just pass me. Don't barely pass me and then be in front of me like we're like I'm practically kissing your butt. It's like, what is wrong with you? Just pass me and be done with it.
Yeah. At points of my drive down there, I was like, do these people want to get into an accident? Are they just like, I dare you? I feel like they were just saying that in their car as I dare you to hit me, you SOB. I dare you to hit me, right? As they move in front of you. I definitely had to bite my tongue quite a bit on that drive down.
Hey, but I mean, at that time you were by yourself, so I mean, you could let it loose.
I know I could have, but Jesus, take the wheel. One of those. And I'm not alone. Like, I'm accountable for everything I say. So it was one of those things like, oh, take a deep breath. I mean, there were definitely, I'm human. There were a couple of times I'm like, bro, you're not getting in front of me. I've let 10 cars get in front of me because I want at least a car length between me and the driver in front of me. Not today. Not right now.
I can relate to the. I just let 10 cars in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm not 11. I'm at. We're past my 11's past my.
That's the quota, bro. And that started when I pulled out of my driveway. But yeah, I mean, very upsetting, very unnecessary. So then it takes me back to the question, right? Are Oklahoma drivers better than Texas drivers, or is it vice versa? I don't know. I think
I have like no clue.
So when I lived in Texas, I would say that Oklahoma drivers sucked, right? And then now that I live in Oklahoma again, I'm like, golly, Texas drivers are horrible, you know? But I really feel like looking a little deeper into it, if you're not used to that form of traffic, then you're definitely going to look at it in a negative light. Now, is there, you know, should we all drive safely? Looking at it like from a standpoint of safety, yes, there's definitely measures that we should take in order to make sure that, you know, one, we're protected as a driver, and then we're watching for people around us, right? But coming from a place where there's not a lot of traffic and it's not really fast paced, if you were to go down there and are not used to it, you would definitely say these people are horrible drivers. They're crazy, you know. But if you live down there and you had to go to work and commute every day
and be there at a certain time, and you're driving for whatever, let's just say 40 minutes.
Yeah, you would be used to it. That it would be nothing. You would come up here and be like, "Why are you going so slow? Get out of my way. I'm trying to move around you." You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really based off of where you live and what you're used to on a daily basis. And when you get put into something different, it's uncomfortable, you know? Even though you're trying to be safe, you're trying to drive comfortably, there are other people around you that don't have that same day-to-day experience, you know, so their mentality is different. So that's kind of how I saw it. Not, you know, not trying to poo-poo on anybody, regardless of where you live. But, you know, we all have different aspects. We all live life in different ways, you know, as far as driving goes specifically, because we're talking about it. So,
yeah,
I mean, and then you go to California, bro. I can't even tell you how many California tags have passed me doing like 10 miles over the speed limit. They do not care. Like, you go to California and it's like, you better keep up or drive in the shoulder, bro.
Drive in the shoulder.
Because I don't have time for you. I mean, the little time that I was there, that's how I felt. It was like, all right, speed limit says 65 and we're doing 90. Is this okay? Where are the cops at? No, the traffic's doing 90, bro. What are you talking about?
And like you just said, they're like, why isn't this guy in the shoulder?
We got a scared one over here.
Right.
He's doing the speed limit. But yeah. So then it kind of like, and I know I brought it up to you, and it kind of takes me in the topic that I want to talk about is like, not necessarily speed, talking about that, but like, should people have to take a driver's test periodically? This is always, I mean, like, I can remember being a little kid driving in the backseat, my mom driving me, talking about drivers, you know, and they should have to take the driver's test again. They don't know the laws. They don't know what they're doing, blah, 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 you know, and that experience of driving down there, even though I said everything that I said, like, I truly feel like every so many years, you should have to retake the test. You know, just familiarize yourself with traffic law.
Actually, I was just going to say, now I want you to explain to me, what the hell is that sign? And then I was like, I don't know. They don't have it in Lawton.
Right.
I don't know. They don't have it in Elgin. It's like, but no, I get what you're saying though. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because, you know, you could be put in situations where, yeah, you don't know what that sign is if you've never had to familiarize yourself because you live in a small town or you live in one area all your life, right? But what if you do drive to Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be different signs there, and you need to know what the heck they are. One way.
Oh, I hated those one ways when we were near that Sheraton. That was
bro.
It was like oh wait, turn here. Then it's like got him. Now you're gonna go in this big ass circle. Have fun, boys. Have fun.
Yeah, bro. That'll throw you for a loop.
Can we turn here? Nope, that's one way.
Exactly.
Keep going.
Yep.
Oh, we can turn here. Okay, good. All right. Get ready for that turn. Now we got to be ready for that turn. Don't miss it.
Don't be in the wrong lane, bro. But yeah, you know, so I was thinking about that, and I did look up, when you go to a different country, you have to take the driver's test again.
Yes.
Like people that come here, they have to take a driver's test again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know?
And when, like when I was in Japan, I was like, yeah, I would not. Because I think someone suggested that to me, like, hey, you should take the driver's test so you can actually drive over there. And I'm like, it's on the, everything is opposite. So I was like, no.
Not even playing with
that. I could just see myself just going straight into someplace.
Yeah, for sure. But what do you think? You think people should have to take a driver's test like every so often, and how often?
I have no idea. I don't think it's a bad idea though. I would say it's not a bad idea. I don't know how often they should do it, but let's say this. There's definitely some states that it's easier to get a license than others.
There is.
And then there's some states you get it forever.
For what? You get it forever? What states is that?
I think
what states? Anyways,
and of course, I am speaking a little out of turn, but I think one of them is Arizona. And if it's not that, it's something really weird where your expiration is insane.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. You should look at if you are familiar with someone that has a driver's license from Arizona, you should just look at it. It looks crazy. Like the expiration is like
before they're gonna, like after they die.
It's something
close
weird.
Close to what your death might possibly be.
This is when you'll get in an accident in Texas. No,
damn.
I'm just kidding, but
oh man,
I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that, but I could see that. I could see there being a little benefit to that.
So it's either, and
I should have said this. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I should have said this. There's definitely people that will be, whether it's a big city or a suburb, and they will be like, oh, it's hard to get tested in this area. I'll just go to this small little place over here. Easy peasy.
I got one for you, bro.
So
I always say this.
So in that case, I'm leaning more towards your idea then. Because there's some people that did, they could have been just staring at a wall for all I know. Congratulations.
Yeah, seriously. No, I mean, I did see, I kind of asked that question to Google, and a lot of stuff popped up. There are definitely some states where their driving requirements are a lot easier than other states.
Yeah.
I did not know that there were states where your driver's license basically doesn't expire. But That's crazy. Or there's a longer period of time.
Something like that. It's something
what is
really
Oklahoma
weird.
like 7 years?
Yeah, they recently, I think they changed it a little bit where now it can be, I don't know if the longest, well, no, I don't want to even say because I could be wrong, but I know that they've extended it because it used to be just like 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
And then they
did
changed
definitely extend it a little further. I think CDLs, it's 7.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that regular driver's license is 10. No, 10's too long. Mm-mm. That's way too long. I don't know. I have to look at my driver's license to see, but I'm not for sure. Speaking about going to other states to get a driver's license. When I started working in the oil field, you have to have a CDL, and they basically train you, send you to trucking school. You go through that whole business, and at the end of it, you take a test. So the first time I took a test, when I was going, the only back that you had to do was a 90 degree back, right? And they changed the rules shortly after my class got done with trucking school. Like the next class, they were going to have to do 3 backs to have a CDL. And so we were kind of being pressured, like you want to make sure that you pass this test now because it's only going to be harder for you. And now they taught us all of this stuff. Now I definitely had a quicker paced, an escalated class because we were doing it for work. Like there's a lot of people that we were driving with that they were going to be on the over the road drivers. So they were in this class for like months, right? I think we were in it for like 2 weeks. So first test failed. I should have passed it. Like if it would have, these instructors, like they get their jollies off failing people.
Oh yeah, I know.
From what I heard.
totally know that's a thing. Yeah.
And so I backed into the spot without knocking over any cones. Truck and trailer was straight with itself. But in the spot, I was at an angle. Like, I wasn't straight on. I was kind of cockeyed. But I didn't knock over any cones. Failed me. I was pissed. Went back and took it again. Didn't get it. Like, completely messed up the back again. Passed all the,
everything else.
All that pre-check and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So after the second time failing it, I went to Texas because I still had a Texas driver's license. So I went to Texas, passed it because all they have is a straight back. All you have to do is back up straight. Easy. Give me my money. Give me my money. Passed it, got my Texas CDL, transferred it back over to Oklahoma. Bing bang.
Now let me ask you this: like that time that you took it,
yeah,
that first time, like did that cost extra money to then have to retake it, or?
So the second time, well, see, I didn't have to pay for any of it because it was all through the company that I was working for. So they paid for all of it. I don't know if it cost anything.
Oh, okay.
To be honest with you. But that was the one time where it was like I used the system to my advantage. Because I was pissed, bro. I should not have gotten failed. I honestly, with the rules that they gave me, I stayed within those guidelines, and they still failed me because of aesthetics. Pretty much. It did not look good to them. I obliged by the rules that you set in front of me. I'm sorry that it doesn't look perfect, but other people could back up a lot better than what I did the first couple of times. But I mean, back in a trailer 90 degrees into a spot, it's no bull crap, it's no joke. So, I mean, here nor there. But yeah.
No, I get you.
But that was kind of a tangent off onto left field. But kind of going back to what we were talking about, I think that if they don't do it, I think 5 years. 5 years. Or do 7. Or the states that don't have like ridiculous expiration dates, do it every time your license expires. You have to take a written test. Maybe not a driven test, but you have to take a written test.
Just something to re-familiarize yourself.
Yeah.
I got
Let's see if you're still competent in what the rules are on the road, right? And if you fail that, well, then probably we need to get you on the road and you need to do a driven test, right? I'm not about exploiting people for money. I think the whole like renewing your license, I know it's kind of like I'm playing double standard, but I don't necessarily agree with the amount of money I have to spend to get my license renewed.
No, actually, I liked how you slid in there. You had a nice recover from that rebound. I like that because it's. I mean, even though it shouldn't be that way, you're just kind of expressing your opinion because that would be the follow up. Someone would say, "So what you're saying is that whatever state you live in, they should be allowed to say, oh, you got to pay for this. Oh, now you got to do a retest. Oh, you didn't pass it. Now you got to pay this to take it again or whatever." Yeah. So that's actually a nice recover from that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It really weeds out the people that honestly do stupid things. I feel like we just pass a test to drive for the rest of our lives, and we forget some of the simple things that would save a lot of people on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. That's just my personal opinion. So I'm always trying to keep money in my pocket. But if it benefits the masses,
yeah, I hear you.
Then I'm for it.
I hear you.
Right? I got young kids that are already driving and about to start driving, right? People have kids. Like I just saw on my phone yesterday a fatal accident in Oklahoma. My dad just told me a story today. Fatal accident in Lawton. Beginning of this week. Ran into a freaking cement truck. Now, honestly, can't fix stupid. Right? Not all situations can be fixed by a test. But, right, can you lower the amount of accidents that are happening on the road because people want to act stupid or they want to live by that mentality? If you're not first, you're last. Sometimes you got to slow down. And I definitely saw that driving down to Dallas last weekend. It was one of those things like, man, am I in a rush like this all the time? I probably need to think about that.
Gave you perspective a little bit.
Exactly, for sure. Definitely gave me perspective. And you can tell I was heated. I don't know if you could tell. I was definitely a little upset with the whole experience of driving down there. Because I've driven down there, and I honestly, the few times that I have driven down there, I enjoy that feeling of kind of like being in the, But this one time, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. I don't ever want to say that, right? I can't believe I said it out loud, but it's like one of those things like, am I getting old?
Well,
keep up with people anymore. I don't know.
Hey, I mean, the reality is that we do change as people. So
this is true.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know. It kind of takes us into the.
And I think too, sometimes like if I was the one telling you, like if I'm riding around with you, it's one thing if I'm saying, hey man, you need to slow down, man.
Yeah.
But then if you experience it from someone else, you're like, dude, you're just driving crazy.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking about that and you're relating it to yourself. I think sometimes that's when you actually learn stuff as opposed to someone, like pointing a finger at you and telling you you're doing this or that. It's when you have your own self-discovery and you're like, oh,
is this
true. Is this how people see me? Oh, okay.
That's very true, man. I mean, that goes beyond driving. That
it
speaks
does.
in volumes of every aspect of our lives.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
We want to put up defenses when we get a finger pointed out at us. But when, like, when we experience it happening to us from other people, it definitely makes you take a pause and think about, like, oh, like you said, am I acting that way? Is that what I do?
Is that what people see?
Exactly. And you know what?
It makes you want to be like a little turtle, just kind of go back in.
Yeah, seriously.
Or like, that Homer Simpson meme where the bushes are behind him and then he just slowly goes back into the bushes.
But you know what? It's super short-lived because I'll drive to Lawton and fly by everybody and be like, why are you going so slow? Oh, we're so horrible. But yeah. This isn't bad, man. This is pretty good. What is this called again?
Indian Time.
Indian Time.
Skydance Brewing.
Native brewed. Is this Oklahoma beer?
I think it's out of Oklahoma City. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. Good choice. I don't think my sours did very well.
Oh, well, remember,
what did you think about
I only had 2.
Oh, did you only have those 2? Oh, well, you didn't get to taste the rainbow. Dang
no, I didn't. You just said taste the rainbow. Hey. Sounded like a Skittles commercial from the 90s.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh.
No, but you're right. I did not get to taste the rainbow.
Dang it.
Which one did I have? It was like was it like some kind of lemonade, pink lemonade?
Yeah, it was the pink lemonade and what was the other one? I can't remember. I wasted the majority of them. It was so horrible. I'm not a good beer drinker anymore, man.
Wasted them? What do you mean?
I had like half a can and I know.
I commit to that shit. Yeah, I commit to that shit. There's even some stuff I tried. Like I was like, "Ooh, this looks super strong," and then I'm like, "Oh,
this is ridiculous."
And then I just commit to it. Oh.
Every time. Why am I doing this to myself?
Yep, that's pretty much how it goes.
Nice. What do you got for me, sir?
Well, so I guess before we take a break, how does our time look?
Well, we're sitting about an hour.
Oh, okay.
Hour, 3 minutes.
Okay, so let's talk about July 7th. I went to Apache Casino Hotel, and I went to, this is going to sound crazy, Billy Bob Thornton concert.
Yeah.
And
in good old Lawton, Oklahoma.
Yep. And I did, I initially thought, my dad's crazy.
Yeah. Why? This was not your idea.
This was not my idea. I even actually, when he brought it up to me, I said to him, like, we're what?
Well, yeah, right.
And then I was just
There's
like,
a movie
the
premiere?
actor. I was like, the actor, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, do you want to go? And I was like, I mean, I'd rather you go to a concert that you're familiar with the artist.
Yeah.
This is your vibe. This is your thing. I got to be there. But I was like, we don't know anything about his music. And so I was actually, and I mean, he knows that. So everything I'm saying to you, I said to his face. I was just like, I don't know. I don't want you to just throw your money away. I literally said that. I was like, and he was just like, I mean, and he's kind of one of those people where, there's just around where we live, there's not like, we have certain type of artists that show up, and then over the years we'll have moments where it'll pick up and we'll get more a diverse group of music acts.
Yeah.
And then it'll subside, and then we just go back to getting the same ones. So I think he's, especially at Apache Casino Hotel, he's seeing that they're just getting a lot of artists. They're getting a lot of diverse group of acts, that maybe this kind of excludes Billy Bob from that conversation, but artists that, it's clearly past their heyday. But they're definitely established, and he's like, hey, you want to go to this concert? Hey, you want to go to that concert? And in this one, I was just like, well, definitely familiar with the actor.
Right.
Think he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff. He's even been in anime.
What?
Princess Mononoke.
I have no idea what that is.
That's an anime classic too.
Really? And he voice acted in it. You're gonna have? Do you have like hard copy?
Yep. I think I have that one on DVD. That sounds really old saying.
Bro,
I mean, I don't feel old saying it to you, but I feel like there's somebody young that hears that and their brain just crashes here in DVD. They're
what's
just
a DVD?
or they just go gross. Gross. Can you do better than that?
Right. I have it in digital format.
Right. But yeah, so he's been in anime. He's, like I said, definitely been in some really good TV series over the years, but we talk about the music, no clue.
Mustard biscuits.
Yep, that's definitely a classic. 100%. And we ended up going, and this is the part of the story that'll be entertaining for many people. And people that regularly attend concerts, I imagine they might have experienced this at least one time in their life. But someone that has been in to a lot of concerts, this is the first time I've ever experienced this. So we get eventually, obviously, I agree. We met some other family members that were gonna attend this concert as well. Yeah. And we get there and we're all talking to each other. We're kind of like, yeah, we don't know what to expect. We'll just see what happens. Your favorite quote. Let's just see what happens. So we get there, I have my tickets, and we're walking in, and then pretty much me and my cousin, we were going to sit next to each other. And then as we're getting close, we were like, oh, here's our seats. Here's our row. We sit down. And then everybody's like, oops, this is the wrong area. We're actually a little further up. And we're like, oh, okay. So then we all get up and we go a little further. And then they're like, oh, this is actually our seats. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm looking and I'm like, there's two women sitting where me and my cousin are supposed to sit. And I'm like, okay, so let me see. Are you supposed to be? How do you approach that?
That's so awkward.
It is. And, and I'm the type of person, like, even though I like to not be rude to people, like, if there's a problem, I still will address it.
Same here.
Yeah. I might stumble through it, but I will still address it. I'm not one of those people where I'm like, it's fine, I'll just sit somewhere else.
No. Yeah, bro. I'm the same way.
So I'm like, I'll address it. I might not be as abrasive as some people, but I'll still.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Approach it with kindness.
Yeah. So eventually, me and some other family members were talking. We're looking at their tickets. I think they bought theirs physically, and we got ours online. So then, I mean, pretty much it's one of those where here's my tickets.
Good job, Apache.
This is like this. Here's my tickets.
Oh, that's what they did to you.
Well, no. Well, they weren't not in a rude way, but I mean, it was pretty much like, not in an aggressive way, but let's just say it like this, like, yeah, I'm not moving. So then we get a hold of one of the employees. I mean, she didn't even flinch. She just looked at it and she's like, okay. And she's like, okay, follow me. So then me and my cousin, we follow her. And then she's like, okay. She makes a phone call. And then she's like, okay, got you a new spot. And then in my head immediately, I'm just like, great. We're going to be sitting with some random people. Great. And then here we go. And then she's like, yep. And then she's like, oh, these seats are way better. And I'm like, oh. Okay.
Are they?
and then we keep going up, and we're just keep going up, and we are like second row.
Nice.
Second row. Like we are insanely close. And I just start laughing. And then and later on, I found this out. My mom was getting mad because she could see, look at him. He's just laughing. He's just laughing. Look at him. Look at him. But it was just it was a funny moment. And then the show starts, and and what's kind of interesting is that I don't know if it was based off of how he looked in the pictures and stuff, but I guess some people assumed that he was going to do country music.
Yeah.
I really didn't know what to expect.
Gotcha.
So I had no idea what to expect.
Right.
But he gets up there, and then he had some. Now I will say this: my only criticism. He had, because I've never seen this. I've been to a lot of concerts. He had this little video montage, like an intro video, that played for a good 15 minutes, just kind of explaining that they've been playing together for 20 plus years. And
was this before he came out on stage?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And it was explaining like they've been playing for 20 plus years, and that this is the type of music they deliver and stuff. And I don't know, maybe you would describe it as like 60s, 70s rock.
Yeah.
Kind of. Not it's, I wouldn't call it hard rock. I mean,
gotcha.
But I will say this. Probably our parents would say it's hard rock.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't call it hard rock.
Of course, Skinny Puppets. Of course.
I would say it's rock. It's not ballady or anything like that, for sure. But
gotcha.
But so they start up, and but out the gate, like he did like a couple of songs, and he just straight up says like, we never know when we start doing these casino concerts, but I'm gonna let you guys know something real quick. He's like, we don't play country. I ain't doing no cover songs. If you came here for that, he said, you might as well go back to your old little nickel machine and get to it. He said, I'm here for rock and roll. And I was like, damn, he's just going in.
After the 15-minute intro.
That's after the 15-minute intro. He played like maybe a song or two, and then he just said, hey, I gotta just let him know what's up.
Yeah. If you didn't catch it.
And he was very entertaining.
Oh,
He was very entertaining. I found it funny that he made that comment.
Oh, I would too.
And he definitely, like, there were some songs where he explained what they were about.
Yeah.
Like what was the story behind the song or whatever. And but there were a couple of times where he's just playing through songs, just constantly playing. And they, like I said, I don't remember how many albums, but it's a lot. Like I said, 20 plus years they had been playing together. So
yeah,
it was
nice.
A good show. Yeah, it was.
I never knew that he was doing that. So I mean, you're telling me all this, right? It was hilarious. It's still funny when you tell me this story. It was hilarious when your parents told me this story at the dinner table.
Right.
And the fact, you know what I thought about, and even when you told me the second time,
yes,
I'm thinking, why didn't Mario give the better seats to his dad?
I didn't know what was going on. I did not know what was going on. And then I would have to do that with my cousin. I'd have to say, hey, we got to give these up, man. Hey, man. But you're right. I could have just said, hey, man, I got to give this to my dad, man.
No,
but it just happened like I didn't. And I thought, like I said, I was like, we're going to get somewhere on like the left side, just really far away. And I was just like, great.
They weren't far. They weren't too far from the stage. From the pictures that your mom showed me, they weren't very far from the stage. They were like, what, 8th row?
Maybe
8th row.
Yeah.
So I mean, they still had a really good view.
Yes, they did.
But it just made me chuckle a little bit on the inside. Mario didn't even like, from understanding the story from your parents, it wasn't even your thing. You were invited and you got better seats than they did, and you didn't give them up.
And I wouldn't say that, and I wouldn't say that like what was how would I say this? everything kind of happened so fast. And then, like I said, we had confusion with the seats.
Yeah.
There wasn't even time for me to just go, oh, here you go. You could have these seats.
I understand. No, for sure. I'm telling you right now, if I was in the same situation you were in,
I was like,
I would have been like, yeah, damn right, I'm getting these.
And I was more like, I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know if, like I said, I was thinking we were going to get some, not so much that it was going to be worse than my parents, but I thought we were going to be like further to the left.
Gotcha.
Like they were somewhere kind of in the center. Yep. I was thinking we were going to get pushed to left. Maybe it'd be closer, but I was thinking we were going to get pushed off to the side somewhere.
Yeah.
But that wasn't my first thought though, was like, oh, let me go find them and I'm going to give them my one ticket up. Yeah, no, that wasn't my first thought.
Because your mom was like, oh, there he is laughing it up. Like, just, I don't know how I would react. I mean, I know how I'd react. I'd take those seats. Like, sorry for your bad luck, bro. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things. Like, it worked out to your benefit because you weren't rude about it. Like, you were kind. You asked. You had a question.
Yeah, and actually
found out that the tickets were duplicated, and you brought it to somebody else's attention. And
yeah, that's pretty much what my dad said. He was like, "Well, those two women," he said, "they won. They got to stay there."
Yeah, seriously. I mean, because what if you would have made a big deal about it, like, hey, you got to get out of my seats, and then they got put in the seats that you were in? Then you would have been like, damn, I should have probably handled that a little differently. But it worked out for you. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
But and then also too, not to sound corny, like I said, the cool thing was, at the end of the show, totally did not expect it, but he was going up. People came up to the stage, and then some of us got to shake his hand, and me and my cousin were one of them.
Nice. Heck yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you not wash it for a week? I just had to.
Maybe if that was Aaliyah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's a good question. But you already answered it. Whose hand would you shake and not wash it for a length of time?
Probably Aaliyah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, Aaliyah
I'd have to think about
Aaliyah was my crush from when I was a kid. So,
bro, she was everybody's crush around our age. Come on.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Who do you know that did not have a crush on Aaliyah that's in our age?
Everyone else that didn't really fuck with her music like the way I did. Come on, man. Let's go. Who was listening to Timbaland before me? Nobody. Let's go. Let's go. You try to get me in my bag on this music topic stuff. I am ready to go, man. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, man, that's too good. I had a crush on Aaliyah.
Did you really?
Yeah, I really did. She was beautiful, bro. She was gorgeous. She's drop dead gorgeous for sure. Is it my go or is it your go?
For me, it was unfortunately it was when she was with R. Kelly. That's what.
The only reason why I say that song is because
if anybody's
listening to us, they know that song.
That's
right?
a good song.
I know the album you're talking about when she was with R. Kelly. She was like, what, 14, 15 years old?
14.
Freaking dropping bars. But yeah,
and then the song
I think
you're
a lot
talking
more
about,
people do. That was Timberland.
And that was, and you are correct, from the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And I think that's when she really, except for you.
Thank you for saying that. Actually, I feel better. Yeah, continue.
That's when she blew up for everybody else. I think that really did put a spotlight on her. That one song, that was the start of
fair enough.
For the masses,
I think maybe what would I say was I think 1 in a Million, and I'm trying to think of what was something else around that time.
But that was her first album, with R. Kelly though, right?
No. Age, and it sounds bad saying
Age Ain't Nothing But a Number.
That
was
the R.
first
Kelly
album.
That was the R. Kelly
That's
album.
right.
One in a Million was her second album.
That's right.
I kind of feel like that, like the One in a Million album, that kind of solidified her. But going to your point though, that was what solidified her in terms of, I will say, a R&B artist.
That's what I was about to say. As a hip hop R&B artist, that solidified her. But as far as like going across the boundaries, if you would understand what I mean, I think the Dr. Dolittle song, our album, soundtrack, blah, 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 that's what definitely did it for her.
It was the baby crying.
Oh, for sure.
Or not, it wasn't really crying, but it was a baby just making sounds.
Yeah. No. That definitely, I mean, bro, let's not even go there. We'll talk about that another time. Because we will definitely go off on a tangent when it comes to that.
I love my Timbaland beats. And then I was so into like Timbaland, Aaliyah, Missy, that like I even knew like the people like that I just listed. Those people were extremely successful. But I even know the people that were in that video you were just talking about with the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack that most people are not familiar with, like Playa, which group that came out with one album. I was like, man, these guys are amazing. From I think they were like from Kentucky, but
you're saying they were on that song or on that album?
No. They were in the video, and I'm just saying, like,
really?
I know even people that were like affiliated with them that were in that video. But like I said, a lot of people probably aren't familiar with those artists. But
you would have to point that out to me because I watched that video I don't know how many times. And I did not know there was another group in there.
Yeah, and then one of the guys, Static Major from Playa, he went on to work with someone you like, someone that's for me. But
hold on,
and made one of his biggest hits ever, Lil Wayne.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Lollipop.
Hold on, say that one more time.
Lollipop.
I apologize. What about Lollipop and Lil Wayne?
One of the guys that, like I said, he was with a trio.
Yeah.
Playa.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
Yes, Static Major. He went on.
That name sounds familiar. Yeah.
He was gonna try to do like I guess some solo stuff, but he ended up passing away. It's been a while now.
Gotcha.
I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago. But anyways, when like I said, Playa kind of dissolved, he kind of went on and he continued to be a producer. And then, like I said, he did the song with Lil Wayne, Lollipop. He's nice. The guy singing in the background.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I can always depend on you for music insight. For sure.
Right.
So
I guess now we're pretty much set on that, and we can take a commercial break.
All right. Sounds good. All right. And we're back. I'm glad I was able to make you laugh just a little bit over that little statement that I made.
Yes. No, you're learning me on some things.
Oh man. But moving on, there was your topic of discussion.
Yeah.
Which I kind of wanted to I wanted to ask you this question. I didn't get to ask you this question before the break.
Yeah.
About the whole Billy Bob Thornton thing.
No, go ahead.
I know it was kind of going back to the story and you telling me, you retelling the story and listening to your mom and dad tell me the story. And it sounds like it was this whole venture to the casino for this concert was kind of like a spare of the moment thing from your dad, or was it planned out? Did you have time?
Okay, so it was planned out.
Oh, okay.
But so like in other words, he might have got the tickets maybe a month in advance.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Because I know you, and I know you're not the spare of the moment type guy. You are a planner.
Yes.
And it's funny, kind of the way that the story hit my ear, so I thought it was like a spare of the moment type deal, and you were just like, I'll go.
Right. So, okay. So, yeah, to even explain that further, it was planned, but what I would say is it was very random.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was me trying to like pretty much be like, I mean, like I said, I was pretty much trying to say, hey, we're not familiar with his music, save your money. Are you sure about this? All the things. Yeah. All the things. I was saying all the things.
Yeah.
Are you sure about this?
Gotcha.
Save your money. We could go see someone someone you're much more into than this person. And it turned out to be a really good time.
But they had fun. They enjoyed themselves.
Everybody had fun.
And you enjoyed yourself.
Yep.
Surprisingly.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely surprisingly.
Yeah. So, because...
And sometimes that happens,
Yeah, for sure. I wholeheartedly understand. And it's just funny because I know we had a brief conversation about one, I love your parents, and it was such a long time since I've been able to visit with them.
I don't even know what
I
have no idea what your perception would be of them because it has been so many years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, it was the wedding, but then even before that, there's like a massive gap.
Yeah, huge gap, like high school. Mm-hmm. High school. Senior year, that was the last time. So, but I hear the story of the whole Billy Bob Thornton thing, and I see you, and I see the interactions between your mom and your dad, and them explaining the story and listening to your parents talk, And I brought this up to you when we were at the convention, but I was like, you remind me of your dad. But it was just like some of the mannerisms that you and him have. I see similarities more in him and you than your mom.
You'd be surprised.
But exactly. It's just funny how, it's not always as it appears. But I thought it was pretty comical and funny getting to listen to them.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
The banner between y'all. It's a glimpse into the life of Mario.
Is it?
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, because we are products of our parents, and anybody that listens to my mom long enough, they're like, yeah, you're definitely her son, and also with my dad, but probably more so my mom, for sure. So, and also that's just a glimpse into who you are, a little bit. I see that look on your face.
No, I thought you were going to say, I was waiting for you to say more.
No. I was just going to say, so, I mean, it's not a lot, right? Because I know you way more, than I know your parents.
Yeah.
But I always enjoy seeing parents of my friends. Mm-hmm. Because then you kind of see like the molding that's there.
Sometimes.
You see. Yeah. No. Well, yeah. I mean, you do have some kids that go off the rails for sure. Yeah. I mean, you asked my mom 20 years ago and she would not even say that I was her son. But I think I've grown into it a little bit.
Did you say you've grown?
Yeah, but so saying that, it kind of goes into what you've said. Like you've always been the same person, and I can attest to that. That like who you were when I first met you and who you are now. Obviously, there's growth there, but you're pretty much an even keel guy.
You're talking. Oh, I know what you're talking about now. You're talking about when I was saying I took that test, and but that was more in relation to how I am at work, how I'm in terms of like dealing with family, friends, and stuff like that aspect. That I'm pretty much the same. I'm not.
Yeah, even your mannerisms, like you with your family, like short, small glimpse, and you around me, same guy.
Yeah.
Same person. So,
yeah.
Which I thought was because me around my mom, not drastic, but definitely a little. You definitely get a glimpse into like more me, right? There's the language there between me and my mother or family members, right, is a little different than around other people, right? Because there's familiarity, right?
I see what you're saying.
There's a relationship there that not everybody gets to see. And that's what I mean by it. But you're like the same person, which is not like a diss on you at all. You know, it just definitely like, okay. Yeah, I see that. Okay, gotcha. You know?
Yeah, that was what I learned from that leadership class was that there's a lot of consistency.
Yeah.
That now, with that being said, I mean, I definitely feel like there's certain situations where I'm not gonna 1-to-1 gonna talk to you the same way I talk to someone at church.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? So there's definitely parts where you switch it up. But I would say, I don't switch up anything too drastic.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would be good at that either. I think I would find that pretty exhausting. You know what I mean?
I'm the same way.
Yeah,
yeah,
if I had to be like a totally different person.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I just mean kind of the subtle things. You know, I'm a person that pays attention to detail. So like what I see and what you see might be completely different, right? I'm just only speaking from my perspective. You know, I don't really mean anything drastic by it. I just, you know, I kind of find it beautiful, you know, how kids interact with their parents, who they are around their parents, you know, in a healthy way.
Right, of course.
In a healthy way.
Right, of course.
You know, so. But anyways, moving on. What do you got for me, sir?
Only good stuff.
Going into the bag.
I told you I was going into the bag. Yes, I did.
Going into the bag.
So, this thing caught my eye. It's been a minute though. It's been I don't know, maybe 3 weeks or so now.
Okay.
So Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails,
lead singer, right? Or
I mean,
who is he on this in this
so
band?
if you look at the linear notes, Trent Reznor is Nine Inch Nails. Think of him more like Prince, like he does it all.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
No way.
We're only starting. I'm kidding.
Okay, so when you say he does it all, like he is Nine Inch Nails, can you please explain?
Oh, I will be glad to do that.
Gotcha. I know this is your band. Like,
yeah.
I wasn't a Nine Inch Nails fan,
and you should have,
until like I started hanging out with you more, and you were like playing their music, and I definitely dabbled into the Nine Inch Nails genre.
Yeah.
I didn't like all of their music, you know, but I'm like that with every artist that I listen to.
Well, I would say, for one,
but I remember we went hard on that freaking Rock Band.
Yes. Oh yeah. And you know I did.
That was every time you came over, we were definitely playing some Nine Inch Nails for sure.
I remember when we were playing with these friends. I'll say Risen from Chaos. We're playing with some friends, and they're like, "He's even singing like him." I told you guys I'm not playing around with this. I'm being serious.
This is not a game, even though it's a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, bro, speaking of that, I was so sad.
Oh, I already know what you're going to talk about. Go ahead.
And we saw a Rock Band there, and I did not get to play Mario. You could see, like, in my face, like, I was going to wait there no matter how long it took.
And you probably could have stood there and just, like, waited with bated breath, and they would just say, here, just play.
Yeah.
They probably would have let you.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't feel like you were about it at all.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was that day I stubbed my toe or I don't know. But yeah, no, at that time I was like, I kind of just want to sit down.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But it obviously really, if you would have said, dude, I don't care about anything else we're playing.
Yeah.
I would have been like,
you would have been down.
okay.
For sure.
I would have paused for a second, thought about my life choices, and then I would have said, to hell with all that. We're going to play it. We're going to play it.
I enjoy that about you.
Yeah. I would have thought about it for a second, but
yeah, man, I was, those were some exciting days.
No, they definitely were.
Exciting times in our life.
I had fun, and I just liked the fact that it just started getting like massive. Like we were getting like just huge amounts of people.
It started with me and you, and then it grew from there.
And then it just started getting ridiculous, and then eventually, and what the funny thing I liked is like the whole. How do I even describe this? Our mentality back then was, buy a 30-pack. Invite people over.
Exactly.
It was super simple.
Simple.
It wasn't. Hey, I gotta find an IPA, or let me find this really elusive beer that no one's ever heard of. It was
Bud Light.
Mickey's.
Start the party.
It was very simple. It was very simple back then.
Those were the days.
And I'll never forget that time when we did. And I know people are going to cringe when I say this, so I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Jaeger with Mountain Dew. We worked with what we had. We worked with what we had. And then you were like, it's not that bad. No. You were like, it's not that bad.
Look at me trying to change minds. so young. But yeah. Goodness gracious. That really brought me back, though, when I saw that drum set and those guitars. I was like, man, we got to do this. Maybe not there. We got to bring.
I would always
out.
I was the same people that I made the comment about. He even sings like him.
Yeah.
One of those times I was thinking of inviting you.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I'm sure it'll happen again eventually.
Yeah.
Because I think the husband, I mean, he's just better at guitar, bass, drums, better at every aspect than me. I mean, I could tell he got in his bag for a good minute. So he is just excellent at all of it. But
as far as like a real instrument or the game?
The game.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Actually, I really don't know about he's the type I would not be shocked.
If he did play.
Yeah, if he did play for I can't really remember that. But also the same people I'm talking about, and like I said, obviously I'm not saying their names, just in case if they don't want that. But there are also 2 of the 7 people that went to Japan with me.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, my house is open. You just let me know.
For some
I will block out the calendar for a day like that.
And this couple, they're probably the only people I know, if you can imagine this, that have a bigger DLC list than me.
No way. Wow. Because we were buying everything.
I was a madman. I was a madman. I was a madman.
And I was like hardcore into Paramore at the time. That's cringe. You want to talk about cringe?
Well, you know what? I will say this for Paramore.
Me some Haley.
They've changed up their style, and I mean they're still doing their thing.
Oh yeah.
I respect that because I mean it's hard to like if you started a genre and then that genre kind of fades. I mean, they all come back eventually, but to then all of a sudden be like, okay, what do I do from here? Am I going to keep doing the same thing?
Yeah.
Do I change it up? Do I change drastically? Do I just say to hell how I got here? Do I just say the hell with all that and now I'm going this direction? Or, you know, there's so many ways that countless people, even before them, did it. So I've heard some of their like more of their recent songs over the years, and I kind of respect that they really haven't quote unquote stayed the same. And what's kind of funny is that you hear people say, "Oh, I wish that the X artists why can't they just do what they did when they first came out?"
Yeah.
And I'm being serious, and I'm not even saying this to go into that topic, but I just want to say this real quick. There is only one band that I know of that has almost, not all the time, but almost consistently did what they did when they first came out.
Modest Mouse.
You got me. I didn't see that coming. But you tell me. But are you being for real though? Have they like from album 1 to album 6 or whatever they've kept it?
Yep. You can the last album that I bought, which was a while ago that they put out an album, but same style of music.
Okay, cool.
Haven't changed. And that's why I love them so much.
And there's something to be said about that. The only band I know of that I listen, you know, like I still listen to this day.
Yeah.
And I think I appreciate their sound even more now than I did when I was, 20 years ago, and now it'd be Korn. And they've had little moments here and there where they're like, hey, let's add some dubstep, let's add some wub-wubs in there.
Yeah, yeah.
But really, most of the time, their songs, like, I mean, it's a Korn album. You hear the way they have their guitars tuned a certain way.
Yeah.
You hear, Jonathan, his voice is very distinct. So exactly, when you hear his voice, it's him. When you hear the way they play their guitars, the way they're tuned, it's them. When you hear the bass, who is playing because he has a very distinct play style also.
Yeah.
So
Rage Against the Machine, I would say that they're probably another one that
really distinct. Okay.
Very distinct.
Yeah.
Kept it.
Yeah.
Who they were.
Tom Morello, I would say he has a unique guitar solos and stuff. Yeah, I would definitely say that too. I agree.
Yeah. So, and that's another band that I love. So
I guess, but actually, no, great tangent. It's never a bad time to talk about Rock Band.
Yeah, it's never a bad time to talk about Rock
Guitar
Band.
Hero too.
Yeah, and Guitar Hero. I mean, that's where it started.
It absolutely did start.
We started there, and I don't know. Did we start there together? I know I started with Guitar Hero. I don't know if I actually played with you.
So I will tell you who introduced me to that whole genre of gaming.
Who?
Ben.
Really? I did not know
we were in the mall. He was coming back from the military, and then he was like, hey, you should. He's like, have you ever played Guitar Hero? And I was like, no. And it wasn't in the. Did I say the mall? Not the mall. Walmart.
Oh,
they had a little
that
spot.
game, that arcade spot in Walmart.
And they
was it like a console?
It was a console where you could just try it out.
Area.
Yeah,
yep.
And he was like,
I know what you're talking about.
He was like, hey, here you try this song because it's beginner relate, so you could just kind of get in the groove of how the game is spaced. And this is not shocking for me to say this because I'm pretty sure you agree with me. Guitar Hero is more challenging than Rock Band.
Oh, for sure.
I think.
Oh, yes.
I think Rock Band is more.
Kitty gloves.
Actually, you know what I was going to say?
Whoa, go for it.
Okay, you ready? You're probably going to laugh when I say this. I was going to say Rock Band is very Apple.
Damn it. That's some BS, bro.
But they're looking out for the user. They want you to have a good time.
Yeah, this is very
They want
true.
you to have a good time. They're not trying to get you they're not trying to have you play like a bunch of
rage out.
Yeah.
Rage out and break your guitar.
Make you question your life choices on normal.
Exactly.
They're like, no, we want you to have fun first.
Yeah. Build up to expert. You'll get there eventually.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, but anyways, but to answer your question, okay, so Trent Reznor, yes, for the most part, you could say he is Nine Inch Nails, and the reason why I referenced him to Prince, like he was inspired when he made his first album, Pretty Hate Machine. He was influenced by Prince, so initially he thought, I'm gonna do this the way the person that inspired me or influenced me, I'll do it the way he did it. So
Song
he
or
did
album?
in terms of the songwriting, in terms of playing the instruments, in terms of all of that. So I mean, he did all of that initially, and then eventually later on, he kind of, had bandmates, and pretty much most of them stuck with him. Like I think his name is Robin Fink. He's been the guitarist for Nine Inch Nails for a long time, and he is. I really like the way he plays. He's probably like one of my favorite guitar players, and I mean he's so badass that he was for several years. He was the guitarist for Guns N' Roses. Like so, yeah. There was a time when they were. I think it was when they made that album, Chinese Democracy.
Okay.
And they were just trying, just experimenting with a lot of things and trying to figure out how they were going to make their newest album sound. And for a while, he was playing with them, I guess when Nine Inch Nails wasn't doing too much.
Gotcha.
But anyways, but for the most part, yeah, I would say essentially Trent is mainly doing stuff on his own. And then, when he performs live, then he has a band with him. And then also there will be people here and there that will come in, play drums for a song, do some guitar work for a song.
Gotcha.
But there's also times when he's just doing it himself.
Wow.
And then also, of course, what he's mainly known for, or I guess what you could say, his talent was more in, the experimentation with the programming, and also in him being a pianist. But I
did not know that he was a pianist.
Yeah, you can definitely hear that in, like, I know, like, since there's a lot of electronics and stuff going on, like, you can hear, like, there's parts in songs where it repeats, and he'll have, like, some piano sections where, it might just be a little solo in the background playing.
Yeah.
So you can hear little stuff like that here and there.
Gotcha.
But anyways, also adding into the doing it all, one of the big things for me why I got into him was, it goes so far beyond what, modern day music, what we consider, especially, let's just stick it to rock. Drums, guitar, and bass. Cute. With Nine Inch Nails, it's let's have some xylophones. Let's have some violins.
Yeah.
Let's have some cellos. Like, just nothing is off limits.
Yeah.
And just think of all that, with that being said, that it's definitely, most of the time, it's heavier music. So
True.
it's not, but he has moments where, I guess you could say, it's mellower for sure.
Yeah, a little softer.
But yeah, so and that's one thing I definitely appreciate, is that it's not just one thing consistently. And to be honest with you, one of the first music artists I ever heard where he was incorporating crescendos and decrescendos, where for most people it's just the song is one volume continuously until the song ends. There is no build up. There is no, and when I say build up, I'm not talking about you start hitting the drums louder and louder. I'm talking about actual crescendo, like what we see in music.
Yeah.
Like traditional music, not modern day music. But anyways, like I said, I'm kind of rambling here. But so what this is really about, what we're really talking about here, is Trent Reznor was interviewed by Rick Rubin on his podcast. It's called, and I had to actually look this because I did not want to say it wrong, but it's called the Tetragrammaton. And just to start here, do you know who Rick Rubin is?
I have no idea who Rick Rubin is.
Let me get.
And I did watch the video too, by the way, when you sent it to me.
Oh, okay, good. Because I mean that'll cover a lot of ground for you. You know what I mean? So just to give you an idea of Rick Rubin, like this used to be my joke. Like I don't know if I said it to you, but I said it to friends sporadically. But I used to say that I was gonna be the Black Rick Rubin. So let me explain to you who Rick Rubin is. Okay. So Rick Rubin is let me think of this dude's name. But so when Def Jam first started, he was the other person that was a part of that. And so like he's known for like not only like starting some major careers within hip hop, within rock and metal, but he's also been known to like revitalize people's careers. So I'm going to throw some
producer
at you. Producer. So to give you an idea, Run DMC, Ghetto Boys, LL Cool J, Red Hot Chili Peppers, System of a Down, Slipknot, Linkin Park, Metallica, Slayer, Jay-Z. You see how
part of all of their careers.
You see how like it's just all over the place. It's not like I'm just a
Staying
Britney
in
Spears.
lane.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is none of that.
Gotcha.
He's like all over the place. And like I said, and I left out another one, Beastie Boys.
Nice.
Yeah. So
revitalizing or part of their
he was part of the startup.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So like
big time name in the music industry.
Yes. Well respected.
Gotcha.
Except for the lead vocalist of Slipknot, but he's one of those people that he always has an opinion
on everybody.
Yes,
for sure.
I still love him though. But
so he doesn't necessarily produce anymore. Now he's doing a podcast, or he's doing both still.
I want to say he probably still does. I'm not sure. Like I don't know of anyone like currently very recently that he's done.
Gotcha.
And I could be wrong about this, but I even think there was one. Oh, and I'm sorry. Obviously, I just mentioned this, but guess what? He did a remix for one of 9 Inch Nails' songs.
Nice.
And I want to say, which to me, this is out of everything I just said, like even as much as I love 9 Inch Nails, like all the people I named, respect. Mainstream. I want to say that one of his record, I think the record label he had, I think it was called American Recordings. I want to say what was supposed to be the last Skinny Puppy album came out on that label, which is insane because Skinny Puppy is very unconventional,
very different than all of those artists that you just mentioned.
Yes, not mainstream at all.
Wow.
Yeah, but anyways,
that just made you love him even more.
That's me. Remember when you used to say that as a kid? You'd be like, "That's me." That was essential. But anyways, okay. So he was okay. So Trent Reznor, like I said, he was on this podcast. I listened to it from beginning to end. It was a very fascinating podcast. Now, like I said,
you just sent me a clip, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Or was it the whole podcast? It wasn't the whole podcast, right? It was just like
no. And okay, so to even explain this further, what I sent you was the way I discovered the podcast. So
gotcha.
Rockfeed, shout out to Rockfeed, really cool YouTube channel, covers a lot of rock and metal stuff, but he was talking about Trent Reznor being on this podcast. And that's essentially, I didn't even know Rick Rubin had a podcast. By the way, one of the interviews that Rick Rubin did that got a lot of attention, and I still haven't listened to it, so I'm going to look forward to listening to that one, but it's going to be Andre 3000. It's been out for a while. So you see what I'm saying? This guy is everywhere.
All over the place.
All over the place.
Yeah.
But and this happened. It might have been a year ago, but he was kind of Andre 3000 was explaining why, kind of like what happened and why he kind of stepped away from Outkast. Mm-hmm. We could come back to that another time, but because
interesting.
I could definitely, I have some thoughts on that, some spicy thoughts on that. But I'll stop there. But anyways, so with him appearing, like I said, on this podcast, and really, you know what I'm going to do? Because I did.
Quick question. You say that he stepped away from Outkast, but I could have swore that there was just an award show that they were both together.
Yeah, but when was the last time they came out with an album?
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The last time that they had an album, they were, what was it? Beatbox, and it was the one that was split.
The Great Love Below.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's but
that's interesting. I did not know that he actually walked away from Outkast.
Yeah, yeah, and more like a hiatus, like not like he quit or anything, but
right. Just taking a break.
Yeah, and that's the part that kind of it really rubs me the wrong way, because Big Boy has been killing it, and he's been steadily releasing music over the years, and I feel like, and I'm saying this as someone that, I feel like I have kind of like a standout style myself, but like it really bothers me that it seems like people are attracted to Outkast because they like the one that dresses the loudest when it's supposed to be about the music.
Yeah. I would agree. I've never heard that opinion, but I understand where you're coming from if you've heard it. And it makes sense.
And I will say this. So it's not something I've heard. It's more of me observing and me feeling like people are very... Now, I will say this, because I think that, and this is, of course, this is based off of observation, but I feel like they're very dismissive of Big Boy. And maybe because, he doesn't have long hair, and he has a flashy style, but it's more like a pimp style. You know what I mean?
You want me to... sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
It's the same thing like we were talking about with Aaliyah. What song put them on the map and crossed the borders? Hey, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, y'all did.
Yeah.
And it was but it was by Andre 3000. It was on the same dang album.
Yep.
Right? Both of them were on that album. But that song broke charts. Right? So, not necessarily broke charts, but it was the song. Because I listened to Outkast way before that song. Like, if you were an Outkast fan, you're not one of those people that are just attracted to Andre 3000. You're attracted to the music. But what song put Outkast, Andre 3000 on a different level? And he was kind of the star of that show because that song did not have Big Boy in it. So that was the split that really... Yeah,
they came out with... Both of them came out... I mean, it was a double album, but they both had their solo projects, which they're both on each other's album.
No, yeah, they are.
But it's just, perception of whatever your reality is. And if you, like you said, if you see Aaliyah, then you're just like,
but you
this
look
is
at
Outkast.
Stankonia, and that album came out after that. It was after that or before that?
It was before.
Before.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait, hold on. Let me not be wrong.
I want to say it was after.
It could have been.
I don't know, man. I'm not for sure.
And
I just think personality sells. Personality, if you're just out there, then it's one of those things like you're kind of gravitated towards it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
You look at twins, right? And the one that's the louder twin gets the more attention, right? And they look the same, probably act the same in a lot of different things, but the quiet one, and I feel like Andre is he's the louder one out of the duo.
No, you were absolutely
They both are talented artists, you know, in their own regard. And they've made dang good music together, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's good point. I never even looked at it that way, but you bring up an interesting way to view it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah,
I don't want to take you off of what you were saying.
No, you're good. And like I said, yeah, I mean, that's just, that's always been something that just rubbed me the wrong way. Cause like I said, it may be like going back to that crossover thing. Maybe, like you said, maybe Big Boy doesn't have that as opposed to Andre 3000. And maybe that's what it, and maybe it's a combination of what you're saying. Maybe it's the personality too. It's a combination of all those things. Yeah. But like I said, in my opinion, he's equally just as talented. And he really has, like, he is that other half where he still has the same vibe. So it's even funnier that people are dismissive because he still incorporates all the vibes, just like, crap. What is the name of that other group from Dungeon Family?
I'm about to. Who's Dungeon Family? I think you're setting me up.
Goodie Mob.
Goodie Mob.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't even know who you're comparing them to.
No. I mean, they're all affiliated. Kind of like what I was saying about.
I gotcha.
Timbaland, Aaliyah, Missy.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all affiliated. Yeah.
Gotcha. I don't know.
But I mean, they all have that same vibe. So it's not like Andre just comes out of nowhere and it's like, whoa, you know, it's not. No, it's really not like that.
But
for some reason, some people perceive it to be like this guy is just expertly miles better than all these other people, and it's like,
all perception and comfortability. Bro, that's a whole nother conversation we could have, bro. It's that safe guy. I'm not gonna use the word I want to use. I think you know where I'm going with it.
Yeah. Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm gonna read off of some of the stuff that Trent said on the podcast.
Yep.
I wasn't going to read this one, but yeah, I'm going to read the whole damn thing.
Okay.
So, in the context of Nine Inch Nails, in terms of an audience and the culture, the importance of music, or lack of importance of music, in today's world, from my perspective, is a little defeating. It feels to me, in general, and I'm saying this as a 57-year-old man, music used to be that thing that was what I was doing when I had time. I was listening to music. I wasn't doing it in the background while I was doing 5 other things. I wasn't treating it as some kind of disposable commodity. Ooh, my boy's going in, man. Damn. Love it.
What makes you what amps your gears when you hear that?
When I hear that, what amps my gears is because that is what people are doing today.
Yeah, it's just
music
the second
is extremely disposable. It is okay. So everyone and their moms has seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Do you remember how it started?
With music.
There you go. And what was he doing? He was listening to music.
Yeah.
He wasn't listening to music and doing something else. He wasn't listening to music and doing laundry or folding stuff or doing anything. He was just listening to music. He was looking at the album art. He was looking at the lyrics. Yeah. He was taking it in.
Yeah, that's what we did when we were younger, bro.
But it's not a younger thing too. I mean, think about even in the 70s. What they got all like in a circle. I mean, think of that 70s show. You know, they're listening. They're all together in a circle. I mean, they're getting high, but they're listening to the music.
Yeah.
And of course, there's obviously other effects going on at play, but
gotcha.
They're listening to the music, you know, and they're taking it in. And like I said, a lot of that is changed. And now, and pretty much the point he's making is that it's now this thing that you just do, and I'm going to just slide in there. People aren't paying for, so they're just listening to it on Spotify, or wherever they get their music from.
But you have to pay for Spotify, right? If you want to listen to music that doesn't have any ads.
Yeah, but I don't think most people are doing that. Some people are absolutely. I mean, I
pay for Apple Music.
There's totally an audience that are doing that, but I don't think most people are doing that.
Gotcha. I hear you.
Yeah.
You're talking about the majority.
Yeah,
not
the majority. Yeah, the majority. Absolutely.
Gotcha.
But I mean, over the years, all the jobs I've worked at, I hear people listening to music, and then next thing you know, commercial kicks in. I mean, that's common.
You're paying for Pandora.
I'm just saying, yeah. And,
yeah, I gotcha.
But anyways, end to end, I kind of miss the attention music got. I miss the critical attention that music got. Not that I'm interested in the critic's opinion, but to send something out in the world and feel like it touched places. Might have got a negative or positive review, but somebody heard it. It got validated in its own way culturally. Culturally, that feels askew. And like I said, I know that, things have changed drastically with the music industry, and for better or for worse. And I'm sure for the average consumer, for the person that never paid for music to begin with, it's probably never been better for that person.
Yeah.
And I'm saying all this so two things I want to add, because like I said, there's a lot of stuff I still want to say, but so totally self-aware that this is first world problem, right?
Definitely.
No one's going to die from this.
Yeah.
However, this is coming from someone that, like I said, my first passion was to get into music, to do something in music.
Yeah.
To make an impact with music. And I think it's just way harder to do that now. And it's just, like I said, and here's another thing.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
When you say that it's harder to do that now, what's turning in your brain to make that come out of your mouth? Because I hear artists now make music that I love. I find new things to listen to. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, they have a passion. They're doing it. And I'm listening to it. If I'm listening to it, there's somebody else that's listening to it. So what do you mean by it's harder to do that now? Because some people might say, well, that's not true. Right? But how would you?
So I'm talking in terms of, I'm not talking about in terms of reaching ears.
Gotcha.
I'm not talking about in terms of that. I'm talking about in terms of if you want to have a stable career in music.
Okay. Yeah.
If you want to have a stable career in music, going back to what Trent said.
Yeah.
It's, it's so devalued now these days. And by the way, in case someone might have misinterpreted, I'm obviously not talking about you, but just in someone listening might misinterpret this. His perspective wasn't implying that music these days is trash. That's not what he's talking about. But he's not even talking.
It's more of a personal outlook. That's what I got. And if I'm wrong, correct me. But when I listened to the clip that you sent me, I saw a man that loved something, and his love for that, one, is devalued by society and also by himself, because there's other things that set precedent in his life, and music is no longer number one.
Okay, so because I know you only listened to the first clip, and then of course
Yep.
I'm a rabid fanboy,
right,
for Nine Inch Nails. So I'm trying to think of how I want to include all of these points, but so he started off like obviously he started in music and everything now.
Yeah.
But and he feels that way, and like I said, now he's older, he has a family.
Yep.
But that's only one side of the coin. Excuse me. But the other part of this is that he has gotten into scoring films.
Yeah, you told me about that.
So to name some of them off to you, he won an Oscar for The Social Network. And very recently, he won a second Oscar for Soul with John Baptiste.
Nice.
And oddly, weird enough, recently I think he did Ninja Turtles. That Ninja Turtles movie.
The new one that just came out?
That one that just came out, yeah.
Wow.
And then before that, I remember he did one with, I don't think he won an award for this one, but I do remember it's one I purchased, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I love that series.
Yeah. So
first one or second one?
I believe he did both of them.
Really?
Yeah. But
I'm not surprised. Some good scores in that.
Yeah,
in that movie.
In the
both of them.
First one is like a triple disc thing. Like it's like some of it is more subtle, you know, kind of more soundtracky-esque. Yeah. But there's parts of it where it has actual songs and stuff. But anyways, he, like I said, he kind of got into that lane, and he has had, you know, just extreme success with that, you know, just extreme success. But and then, like I said, I think, you know, transitioning, you know, from what he was doing before and then into this, and like you said, a combination of, you know, where he's at with his life and having a family.
Yeah.
I think he's feeling that, but also, like I said, it has, you know, music has been altered forever. You know, that person sitting down, opening an album and looking at artwork, like, I can relate to that because I used to do stuff like that. Like, I've bought albums before when I might only knew one song. Mm-hmm. And I was like, maybe this is good, maybe it's not. Now, some people might think of that like you're throwing away money or whatever, but at the time I thought that was exciting or interesting.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said, times have changed so much, and like I said, not even having anything to do with, you know, music now being good or bad or anything like that. But there's even are you familiar with what a 360 deal is?
360 deal? Mm-mm.
So, because the argument I've heard, which sometimes people try to use to sound like they're knowledgeable about the music industry, is they'll say, well, you know, boohoo on streaming stuff or whatever. Someone, you know, listening to all this music and not paying for it. Who cares? Because you tour, right? You tour. That's how you make most of your money. Yeah. That's been the tired ass argument for years. Well, probably 2010s, you know, the music companies, obviously they're continuously losing money. So they have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
Well, then they started, and I don't even know if it happened then. It could have started happening before that. But that's when I became familiar with it, was like the 2010s, was they were signing deals where not only are they making money, most of the money from record sales, but they're also making money from when they're touring, when the artist is touring.
Gotcha.
So now it's not enough to just say, we'll just tour, bro, and then that's where you make most of your money anyways, you know, sell some shirts. You know, it's not enough to just say that anymore in 2023. And like I said, I'm going back again to the having a sustainable career in music. And like I said, I know that for some people, like I said, they don't care about that. That's fine, you know. But like I said, for me, it's kind of sad to me because, like I said, music, like, Perfect example. Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
He's doing movies. But for some reason, for 20 years, he's doing this rock thing. And it's probably not paying as much as it was for doing movies.
For sure.
But there are people like him and Johnny Depp that it's in their blood that they wanted to be rock stars. Yeah. They wanted to be in the music industry. Nowadays, I feel like being in the music industry is not on the same level as being in Hollywood or being a movie star. Now it's got knocked down quite a bit.
Would you say that it's not necessarily the industry as far as the consumer, but the industry as far as the people that are signing these people? Like, they're wanting more, so the artist is suffering because of greedy hands? Because I feel like there's gotta... I can't say that it's completely the consumer's fault that these artists can't make a living by doing what they're doing. You know? And I just thought of that. Like, I mean, that's just what pops into my brain. It's like, there are people that still buy music. You know?
I'm one of them.
You know? And I don't buy individual albums, but I pay for a subscription to listen to music. And that's somehow going to them.
Yes, it is. That's true.
You know,
actually, and you know,
I was that guy that stole music too. Don't get me wrong.
I'll throw your boys a bone. Okay, here it comes. You ready for it?
Hit me. I love these bones that get thrown.
Yeah,
especially when it comes to Apple.
You know where it's coming. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Apple is one of the top players that pays.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it pays a lot, but they pay more than some of the other,
all of the other platforms.
Probably one of the ones that I want to say one of the ones that pays more than Apple is probably. But then when I say this, you know, I would ask you, name one of your boys that is listening to this or using this platform. Tidal.
I've never heard of it.
You've never heard of Tidal?
Never heard of it.
It had a moment where people were. Who was it? I think it was. I don't know if he still owns it. I don't think he does anymore, but Jay-Z was running it. No, this is the reason why I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. Kanye's Pablo, blah, 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 blah.
Don't be mixing him with me, bro.
Yeah, I'm lumping you right in there with him. Yes, sir. He, his Life of Pablo, whatever it was called.
Yeah, I know
that album is permanent. Well,
I thought that was Drake.
They might have moved it. No,
that was Kanye West.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even listen to that album.
You were done. You were done
by that point. Sorry,
but yeah, I don't know if it's. I believe it's still stuck on Tidal. To this day.
Interesting. Did not know that.
And Tidal is also, they're going into the. Just have fun. They're going into the pretentious Apple realms where they're like, you know, if you want to have, I forgot what it's called.
Pretentious Apple realms. How dare you?
They have like, I think where, what is it? The quality of an MP3 is like pretty much, we'll say that's slowly become the standard. And, you know, streaming is somewhere close to that. It's not quite there, but it's close to that, right?
Gotcha.
But Tidal was offering sound qualities that were much higher than that. But, of course, you paid a premium for that. And that's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
You're like, sure,
moving
fine.
On.
But, of course, I'm saying that like I've never tried it. Maybe my little ears would be rocked off my very face if I ever, you know, heard a glorious Tidal above MP3 quality sound. You know what I mean? Who knows? You never know.
Maybe.
But anyways,
but yeah,
like I said, I ramble off. I'll let you.
No. I mean, That's my first take on it is I don't feel like music's diminished. I feel like going back to when you were talking about bands that have done the same thing over and over. And have played the same music even though that genre's died. I feel like people change, right? And their ears want to hear something different. And because people are fickle, you know, we are that way. And to be a loyal fan like you are, that's hard to come by. And not saying that they aren't out there, because they are, right?
Yeah.
But the numbers that you might see in your first 2 years of being an artist, you know, for 9 Inch Nails, or let's say the first 5 years, right? That's obviously going to change over time. I know he's talking about it, not necessarily for his band. Himself. He's talking about music in general.
Yeah, the industry as a whole. Yeah.
Right? But I feel like I don't agree, but I understand where he's coming from. Because, you know, I look at myself and what I used to listen to when I was a younger kid up until my mid-20s, and then what I started listening to after that, right? And if you have an artist that was a part of that music that I listened to, right, and then they see their numbers deplenish because a lot of people changed what they wanted to hear, like, you might have that perspective on music, right? Because that's the lane that you're in. But I could be wrong. I didn't take what you sent me from the perspective that you brought, which I appreciate what you said, and it definitely opens my eyes. But I honestly looked at that, which I said earlier before, you know, somebody that has acquired more wisdom and probably sees things differently, because I feel like when it comes to hobbies like music, because it is a hobby unless you're actually the artist.
Just like video games. Yeah.
Yeah. It changes over time. And as you get older, even though you might play those video games, it's not the same when you were a little kid. You know, some people do stay in that lane and they enjoy it just as much as when they first played video games, right? And that's their life. But for some people, they grow out of it, you know, and it's still a part of their life. They still do it, but it's not the same, you know, because other things take precedent. And I feel like when I heard that clip that you sent me, I felt like this was a guy that has obtained wisdom. It was a priority. It no longer is a priority. And he's looking at it from different eyes as an older man, you know, on the whole, the big picture, right? Not just himself and his band, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's definitely looking at it from that.
And I feel like, well, it was always that way. It just took you to get to the point of where you were to see that, right?
Wait, it was always what way?
Music has always been how he described it, as second.
Oh, I totally disagree. So remember.
Well, I know you do.
Well, going back to what we just said about the Guardians of the Galaxy thing.
Yeah.
So you know that like no kid is doing that now.
No kid is doing that.
No kid, and I'm not talking about. But you look I'm not talking about like us as adults or anything, but like there is no kid in 2023 that's, let's just say, 13 years old that's looking at linear notes to an album or looking at
where do you find
album
those
art.
Linear notes?
Huh?
Where do you find that album art? Where do you find those linear notes? Like music is. The face of music has changed. It is not the same way anymore.
Some of it is like your boys Apple. They do it on some albums.
You're talking about like if you go into the artist or go into the album, you can see like
you can see in some of it you can even see in real time. Like you can while you're listening to the music, you can see like, produced by blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So-and-so played the drums. So-and-so did this. It was recorded at this studio.
Oh.
Here's the lyrics, that kind of thing.
I still do that sometimes on artists that I actually like. Like, I will look and see, like, where did they start? Like, what was, because, yeah, it's right there in front of you. But, like, you're right.
Yeah, and that's the perfect example is the Guardians of the Galaxy opening.
But let me ask you a question, though. Like, that guy that made that movie, right? I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I know his name. Well, I did know his name.
I should know it because I just watched the last one and they were talking about him. But, he comes from that era of doing that.
Yes.
That is part of who he was. So he wanted to incorporate that in the movie.
Yes.
Right?
But that wasn't a niche thing, I guess is what I'm saying, is that was very common. That was very prevalent. I'm not saying like every kid was doing that, but
yeah.
But I'm saying like, let's just say, because I can't speak to like the 50s, but let's just say like 70s, 80s,
90s.
Extremely common. What that kid was doing, extremely common.
Yeah.
And I'm saying today's time, it's not happening.
Yeah, man. I don't know the numbers.
And I will say this too. I'll add this on top of that. So because of streaming, and like I said, this is one of the it's a good thing, but it's a double-edged sword.
Yep.
So the good thing about streaming, right? Everyone has access. In some cases, you don't even have to pay. Like you said, you have to suffer through commercials, though.
Yep.
But because of that ease of access, now you have Modest Mouse. You have all of their albums.
Yep.
You can listen to.
Right there.
Right there.
Yep.
The bad thing about that, just like and I'm saying, of course, this as someone that, I'm a gamer, love games, but just like the same thing with what tablets have done to video games, or what mobile games have done to gaming, that attention span. So the same thing with music and streaming, the attention span. Now people, we'll just say Lil Wayne comes out with a new album. They'll listen to it for a little bit. Within a month, they're done. They're already moving on to something else.
Yeah.
Now it's on to the next thing. And then the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. Oh, Lil Wayne came out with something else.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
How is that different from back when music first started?
Because it's drastically different because back when we were growing up, they were pushing a single for months. They're pushing one song for months, sometimes for several months, sometimes almost a whole year. Now it's like you're pushing whole album for a month and then you're done. Then you're back to, because the attention span of people is so small now.
Yeah.
That's why even songs are a lot shorter. That's why there's people that have songs that are just 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
Which is just, my brain cannot even process that.
That's crazy. I'm definitely speaking to an expert as far in comparison to me. Just because I have a very limited
no, you're all good.
Very limited Rolodex of music that I listen to. I know for sure. But I just kind of look at it in a broader sense of music has always been I can't even say that. Yeah, maybe
just been like I said, that's why I threw in there that, hey, I get it that there's some people, music is, you click on the radio and it plays in the background. That's all it is. It's not, I don't want to say meaningless, but it's just something there to, that you listen to and you don't even think about it. And obviously I'm not saying this part in regards to you, but I'm just saying a lot of people, they're never going to go to concerts.
Yeah. I've never been to a concert.
I thought you have.
Actually one. It was small.
What was it called?
Paulson.
How do I remember that? See, how do I remember that?
But it wasn't like, it was like, what are those not stupid. What are those lodges? What do they call them? Oh, I can't even think of the name of it, Ralph. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Mm-hmm. But it was basically in like one of those buildings.
Was it like Railhead? Are you saying it was like
yeah. Exactly.
It was okay.
It was like a railhead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't realize that. I thought
this was like very small. Like, yeah. Like the size of a normal club.
Oh.
And they were there and we went. I didn't even have to pay for it. Well, I had to pay at the door. There were no tickets. It wasn't nothing like that. It was like, they're going to be in town. We're going to go. Do you want to go? And it was one of those things like, I have no idea who you're talking about. But let's wait. Hold on. I listened to every album.
I'll say it the way you would say it. Let's just see what happens.
Exactly. Oh, okay. Well, there was definitely more to it. But
no, that's cool. That's cool.
Cool. It was definitely let's see what happens. But I had never heard of them. Listened to their first album. Because I only think they had one album out. They had 2 albums out at the time. I listened to the second one and got through, I think, most of the first. And I was like, I like this. This is awesome. Never heard of them. But that's the only artist that's been on the radio, like, that I've ever been to. But, I mean, here nor there. And I'm only speaking from my perspective, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has their own. I just feel like you said that music, or you were just saying that's not like a niche, but I feel like if you look at the population of the world, right? Music is a part of everybody's life.
Yes. Yeah.
But when you start getting into the specifics, it really is like you have to have a niche and you only have so many people that like that. So I'm just like looking at it from not only him being older and seeing it differently, but if he was to still do that music.
And remember, keep in mind, he's talking about music as a whole, not
music as a whole.
Not 9 Inch Nails. So just put the 9 Inch Nails thing aside.
Right. Just say if he was an artist doing music, would he still feel that way, or would he see that the times have changed and that's why music is the way that it is?
Oh, I mean, I kind of feel like he is acknowledging that
right,
that times have changed.
Yeah, I gotcha. I don't know. I hear what he's saying and I hear what you're saying, but I see like it's always been second nature to me.
You feel like,
it's never been a priority for me.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't doubt that a majority of people, it's been that.
Yeah.
Like I told you, one of my friends, he doesn't, how do I say this? He doesn't listen to music, as in listen to like recording artists.
Gotcha.
And it's just,
he doesn't have a favorite. He just listens to music to listen to music.
He like, well, okay, I'll say it off the record, but
gotcha.
Yeah, but anyways, though, I would just say there's generations that are coming up after me, well, and you as well, of course, but there's generations coming up after us where how they listen to music is just very different.
Yeah.
Than even, and I mean, I'm sure like you probably think, yeah, I listen to music way differently than you do, or I've definitely, like I told you, I've been obsessed, and I've said this before. I mean, definitely, it probably is even more prevalent now, but I've always said that, even as much as I talk about video games and anime, music has always been my first love.
Yeah, for sure. I know that. Mm-hmm. For sure. Well, I don't really have anything else to say about that. You killed it. I think you went in your bag pretty deep.
I told you.
And dug it out.
I told you.
I mean, honestly, this is the thing. We could talk about this until for another hour, 2 hours, or other stuff that pops in our head as we're talking about just this one subject. But yeah, it's interesting though. The angle that you took on it, I did not expect it whatsoever. Oh. I thought you were going to go somewhere completely different.
Oh, really?
But yeah, that's the beauty of this thing, though. Like you had we've been sitting on this specific topic for like 3 weeks, maybe 4, and I watched that little segment that you gave me, and it would have probably been nice if I saw the whole podcast, but regardless, I think I probably would have still taken it from the same angle that I did just because of who I am.
Yeah.
But it's interesting and nice to see that, like, where you were coming from, for sure.
Yeah. And I'll add this one little tidbit real quick. Like, and this, like I said, just kind of cementing, I guess you could say, my point about like the difference between, but I know you're pretty much saying like, it's always been this way, essentially. Right.
Yeah.
Like it's always been this.
Yeah, and that's just my person.
Right. It's always been this secondary thing where it wasn't like
now don't get me wrong.
Like movie like
you look at Woodstock, right? And obviously those people see music differently.
They were about that life.
Right? They were about that life. So I'm not saying like I'm not saying across the board that's how it is. Yeah. I just think like if you look at the mass, music's always been something that you just listen to, right? You follow certain people, but life is throwing more things at you. Music is kind of like an entertainment, right?
So but I mean, just the same as movies, but for some reason, it's not treated the same as movies.
You don't think so?
No,
I would agree with you on that. There is no disagreement there. Obviously, actors can make a very good living being an actor, and music is different.
And of course, there's also
musicians.
The whole reason they're doing that strike thing. Obviously, there's a lot of people that they're still trying to make it big, make a name for themselves, and they're not making a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to add to that perfect example. Remember going back to the beginning of what we just talked about with the anime convention.
Yeah.
One of the really fascinating.
Were you talking about Comic-Con?
Anime Fest.
Or Anime Fest?
Yeah. So one of the panels I went to, this guy was running all these tests. And I mean, like, sometimes statistics can be fascinating. Sometimes I always feel like, especially. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna touch on what you're thinking.
Yep.
As a person of color, sometimes they are used against us.
Yeah.
So there's that part where sometimes you don't like that, but sometimes when I'm hearing just stuff, like it's just raw data and it's not really like meant to be like mischievous or anything.
Yeah.
But so there was a part where he was talking about, the data on people that attend conventions, and it was really fascinating. But just to say this part, what do you think is the percentage of people? Okay, let me word it this way. What is the percentage you thought before you had even stepped a foot into the convention? What did you think was the percentage of people that cosplay? It isn't
96, 97%.
And see, I feel bad because, like I said, I didn't have no idea that you were thinking that. And I got to tell you, dude, you don't have to dress up, and no one's going to look at you weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, if I am remembering this correctly, I want to say the number is 30%.
You're kidding me. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So I would have never thought 30%.
So going back to this topic, I am self-aware and knowing that, going to what you're saying, that not every single kid in the 80s and the 90s was taking in the lyrics, listening to the words, listening to the music. Oh, the drums sound really cool on this part. I understand that not everybody was doing that, and so I understand that that's not. But I would say it's significantly dropped, like drastically dropped.
Gotcha.
Over the years. But yeah, I know that not. So I do want to make that clear that.
Gotcha.
I know that it's not not every single kid, because I mean the bottom line is this too. Like what I can't remember what years, because now I just my brain is hazy from the time that's passed. But I know I had an allowance, and then I was able to. I had to make a choice. Do I want to get a couple albums? Do I want to get a couple of CDs, or do I save for a little more time and get one game? Those used to be my struggles. But anyways, there's other kids that grew up when we grew up, and they're gonna say, "You're lucky I didn't have an allowance."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
for sure.
So I understand that, like, some kids, it's like, yeah, I wasn't looking at any.
I didn't have an allowance, Mario.
I believe you. I
did not have an allowance.
So I know that there's some people that wasn't even an option.
Yeah.
So I totally get that whole, like, looking at the album and looking at the credits and looking at the lyrics, like, for some people that was not a thing, because someone would have had to say, "Here you go, son."
Yeah.
Thanks. Then, but if that never happened, then you weren't exposed to that. Yeah. So I totally understand.
I would also add to that, even the kids that did get albums, that even grew up around our age, not all of them looked at the cover art, tried to learn every song by looking at the paper that was inside the CD holder and trying to figure out who was all there.
No. I was being dramatic with that part.
No, like, yeah, I know.
But let's even put it this way. Like, I just remember, even, like, especially when I was on the band trips and choir trips, like, people were always asking me, like, "Hey, have you heard this album yet?"
Yeah.
And then I would tell them, "Oh, yeah. Or, "No, I haven't got this yet, but I'm going to get it next week," or whatever.
Yeah.
I always had conversations with people like that back when we were in high school. And that was also one of my things. Aside from the people talking to me about video games, they would always come to me and
about the music.
Yep. And they would say, like, "Hey, have you heard this album yet?" And then I'd be like, "No, I haven't heard that." Or, "Oh, yeah, this is good." Like, people are, we didn't say, "Oh yes, people are going to sleep on this." We didn't talk like that. So I can't even think of the word, how we would word it. But I was like, maybe I just said, "Yeah, more people need to listen to this."
Yeah.
But I don't know what. I don't know.
Crazy how we can't even remember what we used to talk.
Yeah, the slang and the jargon, I don't remember.
Oh man,
I don't have a clue how I would word it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, awesome stuff. Love it. Appreciate it. Good conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything else?
Yes,
I feel like you had one more thing.
I did.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
So like I said, just one last tidbit, and like I said, just kind of cementing my point. Like, hold on. Why am I not finding this now? Okay, yeah. So the drummer for Nine Inch Nails, Chris Vrenna, he, I guess he worked in, like, a music store or something, like, back when Nine Inch Nails was not a thing. And he would come over to Trent's house and they would listen to, like, the latest albums or whatever. And this was, way back in the day. And he played De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising for Trent. And Trent was like, "I don't like this." He's like, "The things that they're doing," he said, I don't like this at all. I'm not enjoying it." And then
he said, like De La Soul.
He said, yeah. So he said it was like, I don't know, like a week later, Chris Vrenna came back and he's like, dude, you need to listen to that again. He said, I'm going to play it for you again. He said, I've listened to it a second time and now my whole perspective has changed. So he plays it for him again. And he's like, I understand it now.
That's crazy. I mean,
and I bring that up and I bring that up to say my point with that is that are those kind of conversations happening now? That's what I'm saying.
No, they're not. I can tell you right now, Mario, they're not happening with the masses. Like even when we were growing up, they weren't happening then. Like you have to be a true artist, right? You have to love music. You love music, right? Not everybody has that passion, right? And you can see that when you try to cross on the other side of the road, which I didn't want to talk about it because that's, I mean, we could go.
Do what?
I mean, when you think about people that listen to music, they only listen to one type of music. I've never been that guy. I've listened to everything, bro. Yeah. And when I tell people that I listen to everything, you always get that side eye. Like, do you really listen to everything, or are you just saying that? I mean, because it's true. Like, who really listens to all music? Only people that love music, right? So when you talk to people that love music, you have this perspective that you have, right? I'm just taking it from a different angle, just for conversation's sake, right? But I do understand both sides, but I think if we were talking to somebody else outside of us, they might have some different opinion to it, you know, and it might broaden, our understanding. And I don't think it's going to change your viewpoint, right? But it definitely kind of peeks into maybe, not necessarily trying to like solidify my side of it, but like it kind of peeks into what I'm trying to say, because I feel like everyone's different and that's never changed. The only thing that changes is you and your perspective of your craft, right? And just talking it, well, obviously we're just talking about music, right?
Yeah.
And you just made the point, like artists, it's always been like you've always been able to make a living off of being, an actor, right? That's never changed. It's probably just even ramped up as we've gotten in, right? The longer that we live. But people do change. I think honestly, the movie industry is also taking a hit. It's just not as great as music is right now. I think music is like the first like genre out of the two that's suffering because of, like you said, the attention span of people, right? And I think eventually movies are going to change too.
So I'm feeling like your perspective is you're pretty much saying that, let's just say you're a kid, you listen to music, you're in junior high, you listen to music, you're in high school, you listen to music, college, you probably listen to music, but then, you have a baby or two, you get married, then other things take precedent.
Yeah.
And then just, it's not this thing that you're following and whatever.
Yeah. Not necessarily that for sure, but also tying into like like what you were saying, agreeing with your perspective of the attention span of people now have changed drastically since back then, when music was, in your eyes, a big deal. I definitely understand that, but I feel I tie that into what I was saying as well. Does that make sense? Or do you understand where I'm?
Kind of. But
whether you agree or not, do you understand?
No, the agreeing part. The agreeing part doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you're saying that it's, like I said, just over time. Not only all the stuff we mentioned, like I said, life happening.
Yeah.
But your taste might change too.
True.
And then you're saying because of that, just over time. And that's kind of the part where, like I said, it's still baffling to me, I guess you could say, because it's not the same for movies. You know, it's definitely not the same for sports.
No, it's not.
But I mean, I understand they're totally different things, but
it's still entertainment. But yeah, you're right. It's different.
And like I said, again, you know, kind of like what you were saying. You know, you said I didn't get allowance. I understand. It's first world problems. It's not.
Like you said from the very beginning.
Yeah, it's first not. World problems. I'm not trying to like be like this is the hill I'm gonna die on.
No, I understand. Know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
I gotcha. No, I mean it's good. It's good conversation, and it's good point, and I love it. I mean, for sure. I mean, everything that we talk about, bro. We could just
Yeah. I probably should just. I think I've covered everything I wanted to say for the most part. So
yeah, but I mean, to your point, I do feel like music has definitely become. What did you say? How did he put it? A second commodity. What did he
Disposable
say?
Commodity.
Disposable commodity.
Like it's you know, you're gonna listen to some music. It's gonna play in the background while you're doing 5 other things.
Yeah, I mean, because in all honesty, that's how it has turned out for me.
You might listen to music while you're detailing a car.
Yeah, which I'm gonna go do.
But you're not. But you're not. But in other words, you're not going to be sitting down in the living room and be like, "Hey, Mario, listen to this Tool album, bro."
Yeah,
you're not going to be doing that
for sure.
And not just obviously you, but I mean just most people in general. It's just not a thing anymore.
Even the music. I mean, you think of think of podcasts though. Do you sit down and just listen to a podcast and do nothing else? No.
I see that.
People
but you know what's funny?
Play podcasts in the background.
I see that totally different because I think it's designed to be that way. And you know what? You know, I'm saying this as someone that makes YouTube videos and does a podcast. I'm okay with you
playing it in the background,
doing dishes and listening to the podcast. I don't think you're supposed to sit there and watch us for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But I might feel a little differently if I'm. Well, since I make a variety of different type of videos, it's debatable. It is debatable. Some stuff, it's fine if you're not watching it, but some stuff, you might miss the context of what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You need to see my facial expression when I talk about this one thing. It's very important, right?
Wait, what?
You want to see my facial expression when I'm talking about this one thing.
Or not even that, but just even, what examples, like what video clips I'm showing.
True.
Or, I'm going through an explanation and then I'm saying, this is the PlayStation 5 version.
Yeah.
And then I show another segment, this is the Xbox Series X version. Like, I want you to have those distinctions. So,
gotcha.
But, so I might feel a little different, but I guess my main point, not, like I said, not a diss, because obviously we're doing this thing.
Yeah.
I'm doing a thing on YouTube, but there is definitely a distinction in like effort put into one or the other. And just in the same way, there is a distinction between doing a podcast and creating a song. A lot more effort went into creating a song.
Gotcha.
Unless maybe you're Lil Xan or something. But anyways.
Dang it.
I don't even know what Lil Xan sounds like, guys. I just wanted to throw a name out there. But but yeah, so there might be some people out there that they slap a song together in 5 minutes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got one for them. I'm leaving, like I told you, I try to give the kids, let them do their thing.
Yeah.
We'll just see what happens.
What happens. Well, I think that's a good way to end it.
Let's just see what happens.
Let's just see what happens. You got anything? Got anything for him?
That's it for me.
All right, man. Love you, bro.